football in the state capitol. Welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina for the spring edition of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Football Championships. You know the Murphy Bulldogs, very familiar with being here. They're taking on a Panthers team out of Northside-Pinetown, looking for a first championship all time. Welcome in, everybody, to the state capitol. What a beautiful day it has turned out to be alongside the former North Carolina Tar Heel linebacker, Eric Gash. I'm Jason Patterson. It's going to be our pleasure to carry you through this one across the course of the day. And Eric, this is a game we expect to work its way through pretty quickly because we've got similar styles. It is a ground and pound, run the clock, and hope for the best approach today.
That's exactly right, JP. Both teams run the single wing or the wing tee, and it's going to be an exciting game. They both like to run the ball, and it's downhill right at you every single second of the game.
If you made it to the state championship environment, we know you have playmakers. Here are the individuals we'll be keeping an eye on. First, for the Murphy Bulldogs.
Yeah, big Yusef Muggerbill. He is going to the University of Florida. We expect a lot of big things from him, clearing the way, from the offensive side and then plugging those gaps on the defensive side.
Murphy, physical on both sides of the football. You'll see that when you witness the work of Landon Jordan.
Yeah, he's going to be the controller in the middle. This young man here orchestrates the defense. He's sniffing out those fullback traps. He's going to be plugging the gaps as well.
For Northside-Pinetown, you know we're going to be calling the name James Gorham throughout the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, this young man rushes for 147 yards per game. Good size, 5'9", 170 pounds. He is a load.
And on the flip side of the football, Fred Taylor expects to be a major factor here today.
Yeah, he's going to create some havoc. Look at the size, 6'2", 230 pounds, D-lineman. He's going to create havoc up and down that line of scrimmage.
Community pride on the line. Take a state championship back to your hometown. That's what this day is all about, and we can't wait to get it started with the kickoff here in just a moment. But first, let us introduce you to the third member of our broadcast team. Here's Marilyn Payne with our Ingles Food for Thought.
Jason, Eric, thank you. Our Ingles Food for Thought today is two different perspectives from two different head coaches and their programs. For Northside-Pinetown's head coach, Keith Boyd says that he's so thankful that such a high number of his senior athletes were just strictly football guys. He says the fact that we are truly a team of football players and not so many seniors as multi-sport athletes really enabled this program to make it here today. This state championship on the line now for his program. He says it's not common, and he realizes that, especially in this day and age, but what a blessing it is and what an enabling opportunity it is. As for the Murphy Bulldogs, David Gentry says that this might be the one game, the one state championship out of everything that he's won and accomplished that would mean the absolute most during COVID precautions and interruptions. This team really just saw this season as a light at the end of the tunnel. Let's just get to kickoff to our first real practice. Once they did, they knew they could make it here today, and so they have. That our Ingles Food for Thought. Ingles, low prices, love the savings. Stay with us at Carter Finley Stadium. We'll be back with the 1A state championship brought to you by West Shore Homes.
I can't believe we have to make this commercial.
It's ridiculous.
You'll think it's ridiculous too. Listen to this.
This commercial is about, well, it's about parents being rude at high school athletic events.
Ridiculous, right?
It gets worse. Studies show more than 75% of new high school officials are quitting because of bad adult behavior.
So now there's a shortage of refs here in North Carolina, in almost all sports.
No officials means no more games.
Is that what you want for us?
Come on, parents.
It's time to grow up.
Cheer for your team.
Be proud of your children.
But stop being so ridiculous.
And don't make us run another commercial.
Because we will.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association, reminding you to always practice good sportsmanship.
When people ask me, what's a papadilla? I say it's juicy meats and melty cheese folded in crispy flatbread. But my mouth's always full of papadilla, so I don't think they heard me. Try one for just $6. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better than a sandwich.
My family and I came to the United States in the 80s. I was just a little kid who didn't know anything. In order to change myself, I had to get educated, and I had to differentiate myself from everyone else. Now I have an MBA in marketing. That degree has given me the ability to be able to grow as an individual and also as a professional. There is nothing that can set you back. Only you control that. My name is Chanda Chan, and I am an American Military University graduate.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business. Call the law offices of James Scott Farron on the Hurt Line.
Don't have us looking for you. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Know who you are and know the job you got to get done and get it done.
Yes, sir.
So that means simply, between the whistles, we dominate. Between the whistles, you play 100% today. On defense, get them on the ground. On offense, hold on to your block, hold on to the ball, get in the end zone. Show out today, gentlemen. Show them who you are.
Yes, sir.
The second thing.
Words of wisdom from a team having been in this environment, the state championship environment, 13 times under legendary head coach David Gentry. They are looking for number 9, and overall, this would be state championship number 10 for the Murphy Bulldogs. A rite of passage to grow up in Murphy, North Carolina, in the western North Carolina mountains, and be among those playing for the state title. And on the other side, you've got Coach Boyd, who has led Northside-Pinetown here. It's an entire county-wide effort getting this group here, and they're trying to win a title for the first time, playing in the championship for just the second time in the history of the school. And with a foot into it, we are underway in the 1A state championship game. And just before the Smithfield's chicken and barbecue kickoff sticks, we have a flag down at the 41-yard line. Well, he's into it already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every second of every minute of every game, Coach Gentry is, he's been like that for years, and he's a legend in the mountains of western North Carolina, the winningest football coach, and he's doing a great job with those Murphy Bulldogs.
You have an opportunity to watch today one of the best ever to do it. That much is sure. And about to set a foot into it once more is Cody Carlson of the Murphy Bulldogs, and that will get our state championship game underway again. What a joy to have you with us here in the state championship environment in Raleigh, North Carolina. And from the state capitol, the Smithfield's chicken and barbecue kickoff has us rolling up across the 45 and near midfield, in fact, into Murphy territory. And you can hear them cheering on the far side, Northside-Pinetown, with the type of start they were hoping for after the penalty. And here we go, Eric Gatch.
Yeah, nice return. Sometimes on those script kicks or the ball kind of bobbles around, it throws your timing off, not only from the offensive or return perspective and blocking, but also from defensively. It's hard to sometimes get your timing down and stay in those running lanes when it's kind of like an Abzaki kick like that.
Our kickoff's brought to you today by Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue, we're grateful to serve. We're grateful to serve Eric Gash and I as your hosts for this thrilling state championship game. First one going to be a handoff, going to go far side. Little misdirection, and down the far sideline, rushed out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. What a spark has been provided to begin things. Take another look. They had a couple of guys in motion. It ends up being handed off in the grasp of James Gorham. You see him early. You're going to see him often today for this crew.
Yeah, that young man has rushed for 1,500 yards. And James is, you see there with that wing tee, is a little deception, a little misreads, getting you flowing one way and then coming back the other side. That counted.
123 carries, 1,473 yards, 23 touchdowns, matching the jersey number, interestingly enough. Murphy tries to stack this up, but that's about 4 yards. They'll take that on first down every time around. Here's the surrounding cast for Northside-Pinetown as we take a look at our West Shore home starting lineups.
Yeah, you can't say enough about number 23, James Gorham. We're going to be calling his name a lot this afternoon. It's 66 degrees here in Raleigh. We have to look for fatigue and make sure the kids stay hydrated. But, yeah, that young man there, we're going to be calling his name all day today.
And it may not stay this way long, but, again, his touchdown total matches his jersey number right now. 23 times he has found the end zone this year for the Panthers. And Murphy able to read this well. It is covered up, snuffed out on the far side by this defense. And let's take a look at the defense for Murphy as they try and tighten up in the American Military University red zone. Here is the crew hoping to slow the Panthers.
Yeah, number 24, Ray Rathburn. He's a 5'11", 160-pound senior. He orchestrates that defense right there in the middle, and we're expecting to see a big game from him today as well.
The West Shore Home starting lineups now there for you. West Shore Home, they can convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. Panthers trying to score in just one drive, and they'll give it off left side, but Murphy there, among others, there to make the stop for Murphy. Ty Laney, you're going to hear the name Laney a lot, all kind of connections. That family well represented in the mountains of Western North Carolina and in the championship environment here today. And big number 67, Kyle Willard, also on the scene.
Yeah, they're growing big in the mountains, man. That young man, 6 feet, 250 pounds. He's going to be active in that middle today.
So fourth down, having been forced as this Murphy defense has stiffened its neck inside the American Military University red zone. And from the 18-yard line, snap taken. They'll sweep it far side. Enough room for the first down. A big cut toward the touchdown, but he's tripped up at the 5 and will fall down around the 2-yard line. Now, there is a flag having been thrown in here, so we'll have to sort this out with our officiating crew, led by referee Alex Weiskup. It is Nathan Calvert, Michael Brown, Scott Miller, Darren Medford, Scott Johnson, and Adrian Floyd completing our crew. Here's the call.
Block in the back on the offense. 10 yards, replay fourth down.
So what Coach Boyd and company thought was going to be first and goal is instead going to be fourth and long, just as Tyler Modlin cuts. It is going to be flagged and make it fourth down and 5 now. So early key moment in the early stages of this football game, having already presented itself, 9:27 and ticking downward to go in the first.
Yeah, and you see, usually you'll script the first, 10 or so plays, and we see that they found something on the edge with that jet sweep. But once again, they're going to set you up to come back for something different. Yep, look, they had a little slant going there.
Well, probably not the last time we'll see Modlin on that particular play today. Pretty good with the way things worked out, even if the flag brings it back. And now our officials pause things once more. Here's the explanation.
Prior to the snap, side, offense, replay fourth down.
So just when it appeared they were going to be set up on the doorstep of the Murphy end zone, Northside-Pinetown suddenly going the other direction. And this crew from the banks of the Pamlico River making their town, making their entire county extremely proud as they go to work here on a big fourth down. Wide open look over the middle, but Murphy reads it, and it is picked off. The Bulldogs have their first impact moment of the day. Key interception on the interior. Murphy getting us response from Juan Allen, the junior, who takes it away.
Yeah, that was a great read by the junior cornerback or safety there. He's just reading the eyes of the quarterback. He was looking left the entire time, and he didn't have responsibility backside, so it freed him up to just kind of float there in the middle. And what a great pick it was, because it looked like it would have been a completed pass,
well,
even if it was on the ground. That's right.
Absolutely. He was still there on target. Great throw, but in terms of location, just not quite enough zip on it to get it by that Murphy D. And here are the Bulldogs to work for the first time from inside the depths of their own territory, and the first give to Ray Rathburn for Murphy as we look at the entire surrounding group for the Bulldogs, our West Shore home starting lineup for the crew out of the West.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something, JP. I'm going to highlight number 73, Yusef Muggerbill. This kid is going to University of Florida, and he is an earth mover. Let me tell you something. So it'll be interesting to see the holes that open up behind this young man.
Well, whistles before we can get this play rolling. Now, when you're headed to play in the SEC.
Illegal procedure, offense, play second down.
Back Murphy up just a bit. When you're headed to play in the SEC, your talent level speaks for itself, and it will be on display here in this ACC venue here today. We saw a couple of players last night headed here for some games at some point in their future. He's going to be playing in some of the great stadiums around the land as well as an SEC performer, and he'll be chopping when he's doing his best work in the days ahead. 2-bit, 4-bit, going to be something he's going to hear a whole lot of as he works his way into his career. Well, here's the response to being behind the sticks a bit for Murphy as Ty Laney is able to get them up near the sticks. Let's look at the defensive starting lineup for the crew out of the East representing Coastal Plains 1A.
Yeah, showing some love to the big fellas in the middle. Zion Wilson, he's a defensive tackle, stands at 6'3", 310 pounds. Look for him. You know, Murphy's probably going to run away from him a little bit just because he is just that big gap plugger down there. But interesting setup we have here, JP, because we have two teams that run the same offense, and there are going to be some wrinkles that each team is going to have to throw into this game because they're so accustomed to seeing it. It's, you know, it's not hard.
After the play, personal foul, offense. At the distance to the goal line, third down.
And there you hear the call. So this is going to back Murphy up a little bit. I want to expound upon that a little more. You're talking about seeing somebody who in the mirror looks a whole lot like you. What does that do from a scheme standpoint when you know you're staring back at yourself on a day like today?
Yeah, you're going to look at some wrinkles. You know, and we saw it last night with, you know, like a halfback pass or a reverse or double reverse or something like that. But you're going to set it up by running these plays in the first half to set it up for the second half.
So just tuck away in the back of your mind what you're seeing here. The message from the former ACC performer, All-American linebacker for the Tar Heels in his own right. My broadcast partner has been alongside across the course of the weekend. Here's a toss in the direction of Cole Laney. Now that's Ty Laney, who you saw rush that ball just a moment ago's brother, Ty and Cole, the brother connection. That leads me to my broadcast partner again as we see the first down secured here. The Laney boys, a lot like what we saw from the Gash boys out in Western North Carolina. You know what it's like to play with your brother in a championship environment. Nothing quite like it.
That's right. And you know where the edge you get starts? In the living room in the front yard, because you can be rest assured there's some wrestling matches going on there.
Well, and if you got to beat him, that fuels your fire to take care of business against everybody else, right? Got to stay a step ahead of your brother. So after the first of our Riddle and Brantley first downs, timeout being called for. Murphy trying to piece a drive together. Early stages of the 1A title game.
When it comes to North Carolina Medicaid, you now have different paths to care. NC Medicaid Managed Care lets you choose a health plan with the providers and services best for you. Enroll by May 14th. Just go to ncmedicaidplans.gov or call 833-870-5500. With NC Medicaid Managed Care, all paths lead to better health.
At Riddle and Brantley, we're committed to the safety and well-being of our community during this unsettling time. For over 30 years, our mission has been to help the injured. To better serve our community, Riddle and Brantley now offers full service in handling your case without a face-to-face meeting. With our advances in video and digital technology, you can remain safely in your home from case sign-up to settlement. We're here for you. Riddle and Brantley, when justice counts.
Make plans to stick around during the intermission today. We'll have the Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report. An interview from the commissioner of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, Q Tucker. First half highlights, which are being built as we speak. Stats and a whole lot more. All of that a part of the Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report. We're feeding our happy with football today. A lot of it. A couple of games. One, this high noon start in the 1A title match, and then we'll have another for you at 5 p.m. this evening from right here at Carter Finley Stadium on the campus of NC State. Left side, little bit there, so third down and about 9 coming, and the reason it was only a little bit that was there, Big Fred Taylor, the senior, he's in the mix already.
Yeah, Fred Taylor, he's a good size, man. 6'2", 230 pounds.
We got a player banged up here, as you see, just below that ACC logo on the far side, appears to be Peyton Woolard. who is both a wide receiver and a cornerback, I should say, one of the two-way players. And you see that training staff very intent on seeing to Woolard right there at the ACC logo. And both teams taking a knee here. Well, we've been fortunate so far, Eric, blessed that everybody having popped back up and across the course of the state championships and continued in one form or another. And you see Woolard moving around, his head bobbing around a bit, but that's a good sign, but they're tending to his lower body. We're going to take a break while they tend to Peyton Woolard. Back with more from the state championships presented by West Shore Home right after this.
This pandemic has taught us one thing, as harsh as this has been, is that we truly do need each other.
We value who you are. We value this community. We value this country and this state.
Don't wait until you would have wished you had. Go ahead now.
You have a special spot.
Take your shot.
You have a spot, so come on and take the shot.
COVID-19 vaccines are open to anyone 16 and over. Find your appointment today. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Best news of the day, Peyton Woolard moves off to the far side bench under his own power. Peyton Woolard, one of those Washington transfers, he and Jacob Tyson among them. Of course, Coach Tyson coming over from Washington High. We talked about what a full community, full county-wide effort that this is, getting this team here and supporting this team, getting behind them. A lot of Washington fans over in the stands as well as those supporting Northside-Pinetown all the way through. And Peyton Woolard hopefully able to return very soon. And we talked about brother connections. You think about coaching your son here. Coach Tyson with Jacob Tyson, who'll be wearing number 85 for Northside-Pinetown today, out there on the playing surface as well. Father-son connections, brother connections. It's a family event when you're trying to pursue a state championship.
Yeah, they'll remember this for a lifetime. They'll bring it up at every family or holiday meal opportunity.
Third down for Murphy, well designed and all kind of wide open real estate on the far side. A flag as the cutback takes place, but there was yardage and then some for Ray Rathburn of the Bulldogs. Now the flags are on the Panthers side of the field at around the 43, 41, and 36-yard line. So it was at the end of things. And we'll see what our officials have to say about it. Again, talked about them just a moment ago. Led to the charge by Alex Weiskup, our referee, who comes over for the call.
Hold on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
So it'll be on the end of the run, and we're being told from the guys in the truck that it's going to be a take your pick when you see it here, Eric. A number of holds in this play.
Yeah, you have these receivers out there, in open space. You practice stalk blocking all the time where you're up on them and it's a run block. But when you're out in the open field, you don't see what's going on behind you. And so as the running back is making all these cuts.
Well, off your view, the official just had to go about 30 yards or so to grab his hat. There have been wind gusts at time today. It's something to tell you a little bit about. It's a beautiful day. Temperatures exactly where both Coach Boyd and Coach Gentry had hoped they would be for these teams to perform. But look at the wind whipping through the shirts of the Panthers coaching staff, and no joke, one of our officials, as you see the flags, just lost his hat. And, sometimes you're going to see him toss them.
Right.
It was not by design. He was standing at the 35, had to go all the way back about the 15-yard line to our right in order to retrieve it.
I hope he stretched before the game, just to be able to retrieve his hat. That's something else. Yeah, it is whipping, JP.
Well, we talked about our referee. The umpire is Nathan Culver. It's the linesman, Michael Brown, line judge, Scott Miller. The back judge is Darian Nedford. Our field judge is Scott Johnson. Adrian Floyd is the side judge today, and it is an honor for those gentlemen to be selected in a state championship game. It speaks to their good work across the course of the season.
Yes, tremendous honor. It's, the best of the best, and these refs have put their time in, running up and down the fields of along these high school stadiums, and they get an opportunity to partake and be part of the memory too. Hopefully not too much of the memory of state championship game.
I was working with official earlier in the week on a couple of things, and they talked about it. If we can blend into the environment, just have a good day out there, nobody knows we're there, that's their goal, and they do such good work. And most of them, they're supporting themselves other ways, these high school officials, and yet they come here and devote their time, and our hats are off. Sorry to throw that one on you, to these officials for the good work that they do across the course of the season. Trotting off for Murphy is Ray Rathburn. The good news for Murphy, despite the penalty, here they are set up at midfield. The first down was secured long before the penalty yardage were assessed. And so it's 2nd down, 7 for Murphy, just inside Panthers territory. Open, deep. Is it caught at the 8-yard line? It is. You knew that he was able to reel it in momentarily. The only question was going to be, could Peyton McCracken, in the first game back, hang on and not let the ground force that loose? Solid toss, solid reception. Murphy in business in the American Military University red zone.
Yeah, that was big time. Great grab just on the fingertips there. And once again, when you get that play action, it forces those safeties and cornerbacks to keep their eyes in the backfield just for that split second to give the receiver a chance to get behind them.
Kellen Rumfeld, a perfect 3-for-3 start in terms of connections in this football game. And, of course, that the longest, as he does get it in the grasp of Peyton McCracken. And now Murphy goes to work on the ground once again. Yes, we talked so much about how they can both run the football, but don't sleep on the long pass. When it's mixed in here and there, it can be deadly.
That's right. Coach Gentry says he doesn't pass a lot, but when he does, he means it.
True for both of these teams, and it'll be interesting as we watch the chess match throughout the day between Coach David Gentry, Coach Keith Boyd. When and where do you pull those strings to mix things up a bit? Sun shining bright on the Murphy Bulldogs as they set up shop at the 7-yard line. And the work on the interior just off the right hash down to the 2 now. And here comes 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line.
Yeah, a little inside counter play there. And once again, these are quick hit. They give you a lot of false reads. You get misdirection to kind of, I call it eye candy from a linebacker's perspective. You're going to look and see that back going, and so you're going to shoot the gap, and that's when the trap block is going to come. So, yeah, it is indeed a chess match.
You think about all those Western North Carolina streams and rivers, it might be like a fishing lure as much as anything else. Lure them on in, and they've done it to get down to the 2-yard line. Here comes the 3rd down play. I think both these teams would understand that. This crew from right off the Pimlico River. And here is the first score of the day, Ty Laney. It comes as little surprise that he has a Blue Bell touchdown in the state championship game. Murphy out front 6-0 as they put together a solid drive to set the tone.
Yeah, and Coach Gentry says we must be physical. Watch as a guard pulls around there and just pancakes 2 guys, not 1, but 2, and clears the way there for Rathburn. Yeah, you're going to see it coming right at you here. This is awesome. Number 53, watch that. He takes out both of those guys. Awesome.
Now one more look at Ty Laney, who has just put Murphy on the board. In the state championship game, it is 6-0 Bulldogs. And Murphy lining up for the extra point. And it is going to be Annie Kate Dalton, the senior kicker for Murphy, on for the first time to try and complete the extra point. Murphy, before the female kicker can take a swing at it, is twice paused here. Let's hear about the latest
Prior
flag.
to the snap, approachment, defense, half the distance from goal, retry.
And there is Annie Kate Dalton working her way over. She was out there to try the kick, but after the flag, we're going to have to wait a little longer to see the first kick in the state championship for Annie Kate Dalton. That's because Murphy now opting this close to the goal line to take a crack at the conversion.
Yeah, you saw Coach Gentry call it quick. Offense, get out there. You only have to go a yard, see if they can get one. But I'm sure that won't be the last opportunity that the young lady has.
So Murphy looking for an 8-0 lead to begin the football game. And they stack everything right side, but it is covered well. The Panthers deny the conversion. But Murphy with a touchdown from Ty Laney on a 2-yard rush, 3rd and goal, has put the first points on the board at 6-0 Bulldogs. Well, let's break it down just a little bit here, Eric. We talked about the state championship environment. Murphy, in the modern era, 35 appearances in the playoffs, 81 playoff victories. Wait for it, the numbers get even more eye-popping for the Murphy Bulldogs. In 1974, they won the title over Robertsonville. In 86, they defeated Tabor City. In 87, they defeated Columbia. In 91, they defeated Rosewood. Not only did they get here in that stretch, didn't lose. Came up short against North Edgecombe in 94, but turned around, defeated North Edgecombe in 96. In 2010, they lost to Wallace Rose Hill. In 2011, they bounced back and defeated Jones. In 12, lost to Plymouth, but they bounced back again. In 13, defeated Plymouth then, and in 16. And the most recent championship, the 2018 1A title, against a team from the region they're facing today, Pamlico County, that 60-27 title game in which Coach Gentry secured his most recent 9-3 in the modern area in the state championship environment. And this the 13th appearance. And again, a school looking for double-digit titles. They're looking for their 10th. He's looking for his 9th as the gentleman at the head of the Murphy program.
And one of those wins, actually that second win in 1986, guess who played them?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right here. We were victims.
May not want to get into those memories. Yeah.
Carl Pickens was, on that team that year. Went on to play in the NFL for a couple of years. But yeah, Coach Gentry is top class.
You can therefore speak personally to what it is that makes this Murphy team so tough to line up against. Let's break that down just a little bit here in a moment. But first, our Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue kickoff. Again, Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue, we're grateful to serve. And a foot into it, near side at the 20, little slip. And it'll be marked at the 24-yard line. Well, here's how Murphy got it done on the most recent drive. The connection to Peyton McCracken down the middle. Look at the release of Kellen Rumfeld, who's perfect through the air thus far. And how about reeling it in? And here is the finish. A touchdown run, Eric, for Ty Laney.
I have to bring, I love it because I played offensive line. I blocked for my brother Sam. Zeke Brinke, he came around that corner, man, and he cleaned up two of them. Good job, young man. That's his philosophy. We must be physical is what Coach Gentry says.
Coach Gentry said when I was talking to him on the phone a little bit yesterday, he said, Jason, this is a game that is still won in the trenches. For all the work you want to talk about, outside, inside, whatever, football at its basic essence, still a game that's won on that offensive and defensive line. And you mentioned it right there.
Yeah. You have to get your hands dirty, JP. It's about dominating the person across the ball from you, whether you're on offense or defense. And like I said, I had the opportunity to play both offensive line as well as defensive line in high school, and it's an attitude that you have to adopt.
Sticking to basics, making all the difference. You talked about playing against Murphy. This Panthers team goes back to work against them right now. And boy, you talk about coaching connections, family connections. Snap taken by Kiefer Boyd, who's going to give it off far side. There's a seam there. The football comes out at the end of the run by Gorham, but looks as if they're pointing that Gorham was down. Let's see now. The other official coming in and seeming to indicate he saw something different, and he is pointing a direction that the Bulldogs would love. But again, the discussion happening, and here's the official word. It's going to be Murphy ball. So after the officials talk it over, they determine the ball came out, and a snapshot of Keith Boyd tells you everything you need to know as the Bulldogs have a turnover, and we'll give you another look to decide for yourself. There it is.
That ball's out. That ball's out. It's a great call.
And the original call, Eric, came from an official that was behind this play. You saw the official run in that was in front of this play. He had the angle to see the ball come out, and a nice job by our officiating crew to talk about it and get it right. It's Murphy football at the 39-yard line. Right side, and the Bulldogs back to work, but a good stop, and and then taking a moment to get up after making the play. But working his way back into action, among others who in the thick of things is Fred Taylor, as you would expect. All right, I was asking you a moment ago, you said you've lined up against this Murphy team personally. What is it that makes it so difficult to deal with this Murphy squad, as teams all across North Carolina have found out over the years?
Well, when you ride into Murphy, you know that you're in football country. It's a culture. It's an attitude. It's a way of life in the mountains of Western North Carolina. We see it on display here. Like I said, with Coach Gentry, the winningest coach, going for his 9th championship.
And down the far side goes Peyton McCracken. He has a touchdown now to go along with that outstanding catch earlier. They're glad to have McCracken back. And Murphy in the end zone, but there is a flag.
Little laundry out
down
there.
At the 10-yard line that the official's now working his way over to stand on top of. Murphy thinking they had a second touchdown. Here comes our call.
Block in the back on the offense. 10 yards. First down.
Eric, here's the infraction.
Yeah, and JP is one of these, it's a hustle play. It's one of those, should I? No. And then by that time, it's too late. It's too late, you know, and they're trying to cut down on the crackback blocks and things like that. But still good field position here for Murphy. But it's just one of those things, it's hard to stop. When you're a teenager, you have a full head of steam going, it's hard to pull off making that block.
Got a snapshot of the ability of McCracken once again. And Murphy set up at the 26. Down the middle. Stretching and fighting for every inch of real estate is Ty Laney. Well, we talked about the state championship environment. It's something that Northside-Pinetown has tasted. Back in 2000, they played for the 1A title, a 31-6 loss to Graham. It's taken them 21 years and a spring season to work back here, but certainly capable in this environment, bringing in an 8-2 record, a 3-2 mark in Coastal Plains 1A, and they are tightening defensively at around the 21-yard line. 27 playoff appearances since the modern era started in 72, and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association has kept their records from 18 and 26, 18 wins all time. That's the Northside-Pinetown impact from a postseason standpoint. But again, a team looking for a whole lot of history, a first state championship win here today, and they're playing Murphy toe-to-toe, setting up a big third down at the 21-yard line. Pressure, but a wide open receiver near the 5-yard line as they go through the air to Ray Rathburn this time, who does such good work on the ground for the Bulldogs. And it sets up a 1st and goal at the 6. That's a Riddle and Brantley first down.
Yeah, Murphy putting together a really good game plan there, JP. Yeah, you just see, once again, play action. It freezes those linebackers. It freezes them, and that split second.
Well, we've reached the end of the first quarter. This classic, perhaps, rapidly passing us by. We'll have more from the 1A state championship in a moment. Murphy leading it by 6.
Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
It's Putt for Dough time at ARS Rescue Rooter. In need of a new HVAC system or want lower utility bills this summer? Play the Putt for Dough Scratch and Win game with ARS. Get huge discounts or win a new HVAC system. Call 919-865-7777 to schedule your appointment.
You've been in an accident. The choice of a lawyer may be the biggest decision you make for you and your family's future. At Riddle and Brantley, we offer a free consultation and no fees unless we win your case. Call us today to help protect your future. Riddle and Brantley, when justice counts.
Hello. I'm the new guy. Tell me about this epic stuffed crust pizza.
It's made with fresh, never frozen dough, hand-stuffed with cheese.
Good job. All right, you called me. It is me.
No, I knew it was you.
Let me hear you say epic stuffed crust.
Epic stuffed crust!
She got the scholarships. You saved. He got into his dream college. But you need some help bridging the gap between savings and scholarships and the cost of tuition. Apply for an affordable NC Assist loan and make their dreams of going to college a reality.
Call ARS Rescue Rooter today for a complimentary water heater analysis. For a limited time, you can even save up to $650 on a new water heater, including tankless. Call 919-865-7777 to schedule your appointment.
What flavors are you chasing? Hand-seasoned Angus beef? A1 sauce? Words written in cursive? Luxury you eat with your hands? Try the new Steakhouse Angus Thick Burger at Hardee's. Feed your happy.
Kellen Rumfeld, a perfect 5 for 5 at the quarterback position for Murphy, but he has taken some licks of late, which can wear on you across the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, he's carrying out those play fakes, but he's taking a beat. And you can see right there, 52, Fred Taylor just kind of laying it on him. And those hits take a toll, JP.
Again, 5 for 5 for 126 of the 157 yards Murphy posted in a 6-0 first quarter. First and goal, Bulldogs, to begin the second period, and in the interior, enough black and gray there in order to make the stop as they get underway in the American Military University red zone. A reminder, you can rise to the challenge with a degree from American Military University. At American Military University, you'll learn from the leader. Murphy, the leader in this football game, after the long score, which was a 2-yard rush by Ty Laney. It came at the 3:16 mark in that first period of action and trying to extend that lead. Looked like there was some trouble with the snap. Mad scramble for it, and they're celebrating on that Panthers side as if they have it. They do. A key takeaway for Northside-Pinetown in the shadow of their own goal line.
Yeah, that was huge, JP. It looks like the center and the quarterback were having a conversation just before the ball snapped. So it may have been a little miscommunication there, but yeah, nonetheless, land the ball on the turf. Can't have turnovers, especially down inside the red zone.
Well, you know, when all is said and done, regardless of what happens, the Washington Daily News going to cover all the key moments there for Northside-Pinetown's Panthers. In fact, the publisher of that paper, Mr. Van Sant, has some rooting interest here with a couple of his boys participating in this contest today, and that's going to be one of the moments you would think that will make the headline. Maybe not the headline. We'll make the story. We'll see what the headline is when all is said and done. But that'll be in the story in the Washington Daily News. One of the bigger moments of this game thus far for Northside-Pinetown's Panthers.
Yeah, and that's just physical play. Once again, a little miscommunication there with the on the exchange with the center and the quarterback. And we'll see here if Northside can capitalize. It's a long drive.
Northside is trying to use the sweep across the 10 to the 15 as they get it back into the hands of James Gorham. This is a situation where, you know, you want to play it fairly close to the vest because of where you are on the field. What a luxury it is to have a young man like number 23 to work with back here.
Yeah, he can get he can ground those yards up in chunks, man. He can plant that outside foot and get north and south as quickly as anyone. And at 5'9", 170, he's a load. You know, low center of gravity. He's gonna make you miss, and he could probably run right through you if he wants.
Third down, 1 from the depths of their own territory, and they go back to the ground, and enough to pick up the Riddle and Brantley first down as a solid carry across this side for Northside-Pinetown from Mitch Godley. And that is, in fact, a North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services first down, the sponsor of our second quarter and third quarter first downs along the way today. And a first down set up at the 18 with 9:30 and ticking downward to go second period. And timeout being taken, and we'll take it as well. Murphy up 6-0, trying to cash in on a huge turnover with a long drive. It's in the possession of Northside now.
The season's open for possibilities. And this spring, the outdoors are in. It's time to see the outside not for what it is, but for all it can be. To go somewhere new, you don't have to log miles. Just open your mind. The place you want to go might be just outside your door. Lowe's. Home to any budget. Home to any possibility.
On the journey to better health, NC Medicaid Managed Care offers many paths to get there. You still get all the care your family needs, but you can choose a health plan with the doctors and services you want. Enroll by May 14th. Just find the plan that's right for you and sign up. We're here to help. Go to ncmedicaidplans.gov or call 833-870-5500. NC Medicaid Managed Care. Your choice, your care.
Pushing through the second quarter, headed toward the Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report. You'll want to stick around. Highlights, stats, we'll have an interview that gives you a window into the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and what an unusual and interesting year it has been here. Yeah. And I know what you like to call the Tar Heel State. My broadcast partner, Eric Gash, but good work for everyone, making sure these games could be played, the season to fruition, and state championship Saturday now having arrived, even if it is in the month of May. Well, a second down coming for Northside-Pinetown's Panthers. Coach Keith Boyd said, I knew we were going to be good. We just had to work hard. And he said, you look at what we've accomplished. It's the culmination of so many things and so many people that across a stretch of 15 years, a decade and a half, have built it to this moment.
Yeah, and he was saying that just a theme throughout the year was respect. Put ourselves on the map. And they've done that here, against a very good Bulldog team from Murphy. They have their work cut out for them, but it seems that they're up to the challenge.
Some room across the 25, and had he not been just tripped up, there may have been a chance to turn on the afterburners for James Gorham here. We haven't seen him yet, but he's telling you it was right there for the taking.
He's saying, hey, fellas, almost just a little crease, a little shoestring tackle there, or else he would have bumped his head on the goalpost. That young man, like I said, once he plants that foot in the ground and gets north-south, man, he looks good running.
Here comes the third down, one play from the 27-yard line. Murphy with a touchdown on the board, a 2-yard run for Ty Laney. That's been it. After turning the ball over inside the red zone, in fact, down in the shadow of the goal line. Northside-Pinetown is going on the march, and they'll do it with a second North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services first down secured on this drive. How about that speech we heard at the start of the broadcast from defensive coordinator Thomas Nelson? You've seen a couple of glimpses of him on your screen here and there. The words of a man who understands the high stakes of this day.
Yeah, and you see the defense knocking them down. This is a very physical ball game. For all those that love the game of football, just watch the trenches. That's where the battle is raging right now.
Boyd gives off far side, and it is going to be very little that is available this time to Tyler Modlin. Coming across with the football, but great look as he comes right into your view. And you see that Murphy Bulldog crew going right on down the line, yielding nothing on that play.
That's right. They're keeping their shoulders square. You see the defensive front there, Kyle Willard, just stretching that play out and just allowing the rest of the defense to get there. So you want to set the edge and make them cut back inside or bounce out until your teammates get there.
Covered up. It was sealed off beautifully. And among others, there to make the stop, Ray Rathburn. That's a little Iron Man football for you. We've talked about him on the offensive side. Here he is again for Murphy, continuing to contribute alongside Allen.
Yeah, just filling it out. And you see how Juan Allen came up and set the edge in the backfield. And it gave Rathburn an opportunity to seal and to flow from the inside and make the tackle for loss. So great team defense here. But, JP, keep in mind, when you have a cornerback in the backfield making a tackle, watch for the double move.
Assignment football thus far, but you said it opens up some options on third down and 13. Line to make is a 39. That would have been there, but it is incomplete. On the coverage for Murphy was Dalton Moore. Moore, number 23, 6'1", 180 for the Bulldogs safety. You see the vitals on your screen now. So with 6:07 to play, fourth down having been forced, and it appears as if Murphy, as their return man, stands on the heart of that NC State logo at midfield, will have kept the Panthers from doing anything with the turnover. Fair catch at around the 43-yard line of the Bulldogs, and that's where Murphy will take over. Well, you'll want to hang around at the end of today's game because we will have the West Shore Home Player of the Game selection. Let West Shore Home convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower. They can do it in just one day, and you can make a memory for a lifetime in just one day at the state championships. We're going to find out who that memory maker will be. There's so many today, no doubt, and everybody who participates in this on any level going to carry it for a lifetime, but let's select our Player of the Game before the day is done. Pulling near side again, perfect through the air to this point. Will it stay that way with a long toss? Absolutely. Flag down, touchdown. Will it stand for Smith, who carries this in? A little celebration between Ezra Smith and Peyton McCracken, but McCracken having already seen a touchdown come off the board. Peyton McCracken had one called back on the other end of the field near the end of the first period. Will this stick for Murphy? And they are on the edge of their seats as we await the call.
Hold on the defense. The penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Give him 6 after all. Ezra Smith into the end zone, and the senior wideout having placed the Murphy Bulldogs out front by a count of 12-0. And we'll see what they opt to do. On the first touchdown, we saw Annie Kate Dalton out there ready to kick the extra point. But with Murphy having failed on the 2-point conversion after the penalty, they may opt, and it looks as if they will, to try and go ahead and maximize with a 2-point conversion here, those 2 touchdowns, and get the lead to 14.
Yeah, great execution, and that's what it's going to come down to, JP. With these offenses, they run the same thing. It's going to come down to execution, doing the small things, you know, just the center exchange, running the proper routes.
On the prior play, we had holding on the defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Okay, so instead of it being a straight decline, as originally indicated, there's going to be an enforcement of the holding penalty on the kickoff, which will certainly affect the field position the Panthers will have in an attempt to respond. Here's a 2-point conversion, descended from 12-0 to 14-0, and rolled out. It's a thing of beauty. Caught by Ty Laney, and everything that has been tossed by Rumfeld having been caught. You include the conversion. He is 7 of 7 through the air to start this state championship environment.
Once again, yeah, just seeing the rollout, the little semi-rollout there, good catch and throw by the Bulldogs.
Game day is upon us, when hopeful throngs of couch-bound conquistadors band together for the agony and ecstasy of football fandom. When the palate-pleasing pleasure of wings, burgers, and bratwurst is eclipsed only by the sweet taste of victory. So find your lucky seat on the sofa, and remember, you make a better door than a window. Ingles, your official sponsor of food and football.
Hello, I'm the new guy. Tell me about this epic stuffed crust pizza.
It's made with fresh, never frozen dough, hand-stuffed with cheese.
Good job. All right, you called me, it is me.
No, I knew it was you.
Let me hear you say epic stuffed crust.
Epic stuffed crust!
She got the scholarships you saved. He got into his dream college. But you need some help bridging the gap between savings and scholarships and the cost of tuition. Apply for an affordable NC Assist loan and make their dreams of going to college a reality.
Well, a reminder, we will have our Hardee's Feed Your Happy Play of the Game coming up at the end of tonight's broadcast. Just keep your eyes peeled for the prime time performances in the state championship environment.
right.
And we'll see what ends up being our Hardee's Feed Your Happy play of the game. Time for another Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue kickoff. At Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue, we're grateful to serve. And the Murphy defense seeing to it that the Panthers were unable to go on any kind of drive after the turnover in the red zone. And Murphy, the next go-round, able to find the end zone. Just a tremendous start for the Bulldogs at now 14-0 following the conversion. And the return across the 5 to the 7. And it starts across the 15 to the 17, I should say. That's where this crew will take over. Here's a touchdown one more time, Eric. It was quite the toss.
Yeah, and once again, you get the defense flowing one way and the quarterback scrambles a bit. Now you're having to cover extra time. And they just, ran the perfect route. Once again, it's about execution when it comes down to teams that are so evenly matched. They both score about 35 points per game. And so there's not a whole lot that's going to separate them except the execution of the plays on offense.
A 55-yard toss from Rumfeld to Smith. And again, Rumfeld, if you missed it, 6 of 6, 181 yards and a touchdown. And he also tossed it out there for the two-point conversion. And here is a whole bunch of gold. The Murphy Bulldogs in there immediately. And a pump of the fist for Yusuf Mugerbil, who is right in the thick of it, as you would expect.
That's the big fella making his presence known. Whoa, what a lick. What a lick. That was fantastic. Form tackle by the big fella going to Florida.
Every bit of the 330 pounds placed in use by the 6'5 Mugerbil this go-round. And with 5:07 and ticking downward to play, Panthers behind the sticks at the 11-yard line. Quick contact. Nothing doing there. White jerseys swarming everywhere. And the big star making his presence known in the thick of things, Marilyn.
Well, is when he made the decision to continue and do this spring season with Murphy, everybody else, as he says he's in, everybody else is in too, and that just set the tone for them arriving back in the state championship today when he made his decision back in winter during January.
Well, and he continues to make the right decisions on that defensive front for the Murphy Bulldogs. Third down coming, 17 needed. The line to make is all the way up at the 27-yard line. It's been the field position the Panthers have dealt with of late. And coming off a potential block to make the stop first on the scene for Murphy is Landon Jordan, the senior in there.
And he's saying, hey, what else can I do? That's what I'm here for. I love it. And JP, watch, there were 10 white jerseys around that football there. Look, there's 1, 2. You talk about a family affair. The Murphy Bulldogs, they gang tackle.
Two teams that like to run the football early and often and do so effectively. And perhaps as you get this kicked away, and it's going to be down at the 44-45. It's going to go on up to the 46-yard line. Two teams that like to run the football. Maybe the difference is the passing game. Not maybe, it is. -6 yards passing for Pinetown and 181 for Murphy. And hey, he says, that was me.
He sees himself on the Jumbotron. He's like, hey, self, how are you?
That's my moment. I'm on the NC State video board at Carter Finley Stadium. How many chances do you get like that as a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old young man? And that reminds you what this is all about, Eric.
Yeah, it's special. This is a special time. 30 years from now, he'll tell his kids and grandkids, hey, I was on the Jumbotron at NC State, and I waved to myself.
But again, Murphy's work having been done through the air, 181 of the 212 yards have been passing yards for the Murphy Bulldogs, and they have held the Panthers to -6 in the passing department. Big 5'4", going to hold him down right now, though, as Zion Wilson is involved again.
Yep, he's one of our highlights at the beginning of the game. And I think he may have seen himself on the board and kind of pointed up. That's fantastic. These young men are having the time of their lives. And the score, yes, is not too indicative of what's going on in their hearts and their minds right now because they're playing their hearts out.
A lot of football left, and somebody going to be holding a championship trophy on that board a little bit later. Another pass connected to Peyton McCracken, and he just continues to be on target does Rumfelt over and over and over again. He has thread the needle. And this latest, good enough for a North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services first down.
Yeah, for a wing T team, doesn't throw the ball that often. Man, let me tell you something. You wouldn't know it. His QBR is up through the roof right now.
6 more passing yards. He's going to have 200 passing yards in the first half. And again, 6 to the negative, all that has been allowed by the Murphy D through the air. Now, what you want to know is how much rushing have they allowed this Northside-Pinetown that also uses that as their MO. Only 72 yards. It's now 66 yards when you take the 6 away to 223 total yards. That's the split Murphy has created in the first half.
Yeah, and they want to control the football. Coach Gentry said that's one of his keys to the game, and they're dominating the time of possession right now, JP. In that first quarter, they certainly did by about 5 minutes.
And timeout being taken by the Panthers, as Northside is going to talk this thing over. Well, you know you're going to get something from Northside here in just a bit. You can see the intensity from Coach Keith Boyd. They have fought, they have scrapped, they have clawed all season long. I mean, this was a team, after they lost a couple of the key regular season battles, boy, did they go on a run in the month of April through the playoffs. I mean, this is a team that, man, Eric, you look at the way they had to fight as if it was a playoff performance across their last games of the year against Southside, Rosewood, Pamlico County, then, of course, get into the playoffs there and make a difference, and then against Northampton County, able to pull away 46-6 for the win. And the battle-tested nature of this team lets you know that although the experience may rest right there in the classic mind of one of the great legends, he's going to have his hands full at some point with this Panthers squad once they begin to piece it together.
Certainly, JP. You know, they have really good team speed. You know, they're skilled players, you know, through the roof. You know, you look at Gorham there, and this kid, you know, maybe the fastest kid on the field. And if you're Murphy, you want to keep him going sideline to sideline as opposed to north-south. But, yeah, both of these teams are well coached, and this is a great game we have going right now.
Well, on the ground, Murphy and a flag coming in here at the last moment. Just after the second down play. Inside the final 2 minutes of the first half, a first half in which all the points belong to the crew out of the West, out of Smoky Mountain 1A. And our officiating crew taking a little bit of time here to sort this one out. And here comes the call.
After the play, personal foul on the offense, 15 yards, third down.
So post-play, a little extracurricular and backing up the Bulldogs to the 46-yard line where it's going to be third and forever. That's a lift for this Northside team provided by Murphy there in a moment where they had a chance to really create some separation, Eric. Not that the drive won't finish strong for Murphy anyway, we'll see. But now they're facing 3rd and 20 where they were still marching with 94 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, you can see a little heat being applied there.
Rushed out, and somehow sliding to snag it is Peyton McCracken, and that keeps the completion streak to start the game intact. 8 consecutive having been completed to start the football game, and a 2-point conversion on top of it for the young man as the field general of this Murphy Bulldogs crew. What a state championship beginning for Kellen Rumfelt. And for a team that runs the football more often than not.
Exactly, JP.
And it's at the 32-yard line, 4th down, with 1 minute, 2 seconds remaining. And Murphy gathered up around their coaching staff to talk this over. What do you think the conversation's like here?
Well, I think they're putting a game plan together and saying, hey, guys, this is the play. This is what we're going to do. You know, now, if this happens, we got to hurry up and get up and run this play. You know, I think he's, you know, calling 1 or 2 plays ahead right here. And I think they're counting on getting this. You know, saying, all right, once we convert, this is what we're going to do, and maybe try and get them on their heels a little bit. But you can be rest assured it's going to be as composed as can be. Coach Gentry, you know, he's going to get them fired up. But they know, they understand. You know, he's already come back to the sideline, and his offensive coaches are talking to the team right now. And once again, it comes down to execution, JP. What are you going to do in moments like this? They've practiced it. They've talked about it.
Well, the decision was made. You saw Coach Gentry on the screen just a moment ago, the legendary football coach of the Bulldogs, made a decision on April 20th to return for his 37th season. He said, my plan is to be on the sideline. As long as there's a season, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't excited about it. I just hope we get the chance to play. That was his mindset last year. Not only did they get the chance to play, but to play for a state championship, even if it's in the spring. And this is incomplete on the 4th down roll of the dice by going through the air, and that's the first incompletion of the football game for Murphy. It's a turnover on downs. Credit the Panthers for being able to take over with a little time remaining. This just a little bit, one of the few times, the only time tonight, the ball hasn't been on target today, just a little bit to the left of his receiver.
Yeah, boy, was it close, JP. Almost came down with that ball, which would have kept that drive alive. But nonetheless, Northside is taking over right now with just under a minute to play and seeing if they can get something going and try and get some points on the board before half.
And how glad the Murphy crew that Coach Gentry decided on April 20th last year he's going to come back if there was a season. A season there has been, and his team 52 seconds away from in that spring season carrying a 2-touchdown lead into the locker room. But you can see the urgency as trotting back on after getting that positive yardage is Mitch Godley. And this crew, what a lift it would be for the Panthers if they could put some type of points on the board here. And remember, a couple of good kickers in this game with some range. So we saw in the pregame, kicks were being made from around the 40-yard range on the north side of things. Now, that was wind-aided with the direction that they were warming in the pregame, and kicks were being made from about the 30-yard range on the Murphy side of things with the wind in face. So if they can get in field goal range, put 3 on the board at least here, but time ticking away with 10 seconds remaining because of the timeouts having been used. Here's a look and just out of the reach of the intended target. They tried to break Elijah Holloway loose, but the sophomore just couldn't quite get underneath it.
And I tell you what, JP, he was wide open. Once again, that play action, it draws the linebackers up. Those cornerbacks are peeping into the backfield, and he just snuck through the line, and he was wide open. No one within about 10 yards of him.
Boy, it could have been a 14-7 contest if that is in stride. And the extra point good. Instead, with 2 seconds to play, time for one more desperation heave or something drawn up out of the playbook if the Panthers are going to post anything on the board here in the first half of action. Remember, Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report right around the corner. We will hear from Coach Gentry, who, whatever happens on this play, will be leading at the break on the way off the field, so stay with us. And the blocking set up left side, maybe that's something to build on for the second half. It will be the final play of the first half of action, but it was well designed and well executed by those linemen creating running lanes, something that you know the Panthers will need to do as they'll try and claw back in the second half of action. The 2 scores, they belong to Murphy. Bulldogs getting a 2-yard rush from Ty Laney that kept a drive on which Peyton McCracken made a great catch down near the 5-yard line. And then went on the march a second time, completed by a 55-yard pass from Rumfelt, as that one was caught by Isra Smith. Those 2 touchdowns putting the Murphy Bulldogs up front after the 2-point conversion following the second touchdown by a count of 14-0 here at the break. And here is the legendary head coach, 73-year-old, when he made the decision to come back for his 37th campaign with the Bulldogs. He's standing by with Maryland with a 14-0 lead.
That's right, Coach. Kellen Rumfeld has completed all but one of his passes, nearly perfect. What has enabled your offense to be so efficient so far today?
Well, they're putting a lot of people down in the box, so it's hard for us to run. But, you know, they're kind of giving us a pass, so I guess that's what we're going to have to go to. And so, you know, when they put that many 9 people in the box, and we got to go up top, that's only because we can't run against 9 people.
Riding the hot hand on offense, your defense posting the shutout to this point. What has allowed them to do that so well?
Well, I thought they did adjusted real well after the first couple of series on their Jets play, you know, on the counter play, the Jets and the counters, and that's what they like to do. I think we adjusted a little bit right there in the end of the second quarter, at the end. I thought the defense did a real good job, and that's kind of their bread and butter.
What will you emphasize at halftime to ensure that your team holds this lead to the final clock runs down?
Well, what I usually tell my team is the score's nothing to nothing. If you win the second half, you win the ball game.
There it is. We'll let you go tell them, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much, Coach. Jason, back to you in the booth.
He said, I'm not into rah-rah speeches. We're not going to give them a Newt Rockney. They know what to do when we get here. When you've been doing it for 4 decades, you know what to do, too. He's taking what the defense gives him, and his Bulldogs lead it 14-0 in the state title game.
Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
You're watching My RDC Kids.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
I joined the military as a security specialist. Today, I run a cybersecurity company, so literally, I went from the battlefield to the boardroom. AMU is a good match for people who are very self-determined, accountable. They earn your trust. I wouldn't be an expert in my field without American Military University. They've given me a new life, brought credibility to everything that I do. My name is Max Olick, and I am an AMU graduate.
She got the scholarships you saved. He got into his dream college. But you need some help bridging the gap between savings and scholarships and the cost of tuition. Apply for an affordable NC Assist loan and make their dreams of going to college a reality.
Heard in a car wreck and got a small offer from a big insurance company?
You're gonna need big help. Call the heavy hitters.
We think so big that with our help, you'll get all the money you deserve.
And why go to court if you don't have to?
Tired of that big insurance company making you feel small? Hey! Oops, excuse me.
Call us, attorneys Tatum and Atkinson.
And get big help.
Who were those guys?
Only the heavy hitters are that big.
Call 800-LAW.
Call the heavy hitters. Call the heavy hitters.
What flavors are you chasing? Hand-seasoned Angus beef? A1 sauce? Words written in cursive? Luxury you eat with your hands. Try the new Steakhouse Angus Thick Burger at Hardee's. Feed your happy.
Well, it's time for the Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report. A couple of Bulldog touchdowns, and Murphy with 241 yards. This part might surprise you. 207 of them through the air to build the 2-touchdown advantage. It's time to learn a little more about our fine sponsors. Here's a package from our friends at Ingles.
Hello, everybody. This is Friday Night Rivals. I'm Nelson Weston, here with our good friend Melissa Level. Melissa, it's always a pleasure to see you.
I know, with football, it's almost over. I know the season's almost over.
It is almost over, but guess what? We are here at the State High School Championship football game. Are you ready for some final football?
I am, and I'll tell you what, it's amazing that we all got here. What a crazy year, but congratulations to both teams and to the players and all the hard work they had to do to get here.
It was a crazy year indeed. Now, Melissa, talk to us for a second about what this moment means, and not just for Ingles, but for the community as a whole, especially in light of the pandemic.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's been tough on everyone, families and children that have had these sporadic school times and practice times. this took every bit of heart and gumption to get here. And as far as Ingalls goes, you know, a lot of these people working at Ingalls. You know, we feed their families, their children come in to get jobs, their first jobs sometimes are with Ingalls. We have our pharmacy, so we're kind of wrapped around the community. We wrap our arms around them and give them a great big hug. So we feel like this is a way to say, we're so proud of you guys.
Even during the darkest days of the pandemic, Ingalls always remained steadfast in their commitment and partnership with the community and with educational initiatives.
That's correct.
Melissa, let's talk about that famous Tools for Schools program. What's that all about?
Well, and it's wonderful, and it did keep going, and I think that's a really good point to do that. Every time anybody came in to shop, if you have an Ingalls Advantage card and you link it to the school of your choice, money goes to that school. And we kept it going, and to be honest with you, people were shopping more, so schools earned more money. Now, we didn't want to deliver things to empty schools, so we rolled the money over so people could get use it this year when schools reopened, so that everything would be ready in the classroom when they came back. So we did the best we can to make sure the money was used properly and for the best it could be.
Every time you're swiping your card, folks, you are giving back to your community. That is outstanding work.
Absolutely.
And Melissa, on a day like game day, and any day for that matter, Ingalls is undoubtedly the place you want to shop for all your great foods, isn't that right?
Absolutely. Everything except including the game cakes, you know, you can have with your team pictures on the front, you know, snacks and the soft drinks, and of course our wonderful party platters and subs and pizza, everything.
Outstanding work. Folks, this is Friday Night Rivals. I'm Nelson Weston. Back to the game.
You've been in an accident. As a rider, you know the dangers of careless drivers. But your injuries aren't just yours. Your family is suffering too. Call Riddle & Brantley today for a free consultation. Your family is counting on you. Riddle & Brantley, when justice counts.
Hey everybody, we're getting set for another on-location one-day bath remodel. I'm joined by Kirsten from West Shore Home. Kirsten, you know all about this project. Tell us what's on tap for today.
All right, thanks, Joe. We're replacing an old tile bathtub with a beautiful walk-in shower. These folks wanted something that was easier to clean, low maintenance, and definitely had more accessibility. So we're giving them everything they need. I'm so excited to show it to you, so let's go take a look. So here's the tub that we're replacing. What we see a lot with tubs like this is the mold and the mildew that builds up around the edges and in the grout. The other big issue is up here by the shower head. Over time, the material breaks down and causes that hole up there, so that can be a problem. How we're gonna fix that is we're gonna bring the walls all the way up to the top of the ceiling. So that's gonna make maintenance and cleaning so much easier for these folks. I can't wait to see what it looks like, so let's get started.
Okay, so they're making great progress here, removing that old, hard-to-clean tile and grout. That was step number one, and that's not easy work. They just made it look super easy. Now it's on to the new shower. Wow, amazing. The tile, the mold, and the mildew, all out, replaced by a beautiful shower system. They really make it easy. Folks, if you're tired of cleaning your tile, scrubbing the mold and the mildew, call the experts at West Shore Home. They can install the shower or bath of your dreams, and they can do it in as little as one day. Call the number on your screen now and take advantage of this great offer. Get 20% off your entire shower or bath project. Plus, with their flexible payment plan, get your shower or bath for as low as $99 a month. And when you call right now, you don't have to make your first payment for 12 full months. Call West Shore Home now.
Well, the Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report continues with an opportunity to learn a little more about the exemplary schools of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Murphy leading at 14-0 here. We'll have highlights, stats, a whole lot more coming up for you in just a bit. But first, let's pause, reflect upon the exemplary nature of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and its schools.
The North Carolina High School Athletic Association annually partners with the North Carolina Coaches Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association to award the Exemplary School Award in recognition of the best total overall program in the state. The award does not simply consider athletic success, but academics, coaches' education, community involvement, and participation in voluntary NCHSAA programs. From the applications received this year, there were 2 schools that ended up tied in the award scoring. We're pleased to announce that both schools will be awarded the 2020-2021 Exemplary School Award and receive a $1,000 cash award. This year's Exemplary School Award winners are Jones Senior High School and Cherryville High School. Cherryville is a small 1A school in the western part of Gaston County. The Ironmen have a proud athletic history, including a strong baseball program. Cherryville boasts an NFHS School Honor Roll Level 1 distinction, which requires 90% or more of the athletic coaching staff at the school to complete 4 specific professional development courses through NFHS Learn. Cherryville also regularly participates in the NCHSAA Scholarship Program and submitting Performance of the Week nominations. Cherryville Athletic Director Scott Harrell is a certified Master Athletic Administrator as recognized by the NIAAA. Jones Senior is a 1A school in the small eastern North Carolina town of Trenton. The Trojans are leaders in coaches' education, becoming the first Level 3 certified NFHS Learn school in the state and the 4th in the country. Level 3 certification is earned by having 90% of a school's athletic coaching staff complete 12 specific professional development courses through NFHS Learn. Principal Todd Morgan is an NCHSAA board member and is a certified athletic administrator as recognized by the NIAAA. Jones's brand new campus is state-of-the-art, opening in 2019, serving students from 7th through 12th grades. On behalf of the North Carolina Coaches Association, the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association, and the NCHSAA, congratulations to our 2 Exemplary School Award winners for 2020-21, Jones Senior High School and Cherryville High School.
Hello, I'm the new guy. Tell me about this epic stuffed crust pizza.
It's made with fresh, never frozen dough, hand-stuffed with cheese.
Good job. All right, you called me. It is me.
No, I knew it was you.
Let me hear you say epic stuffed crust.
Epic stuffed crust!
For homicide detectives, the first 48 hours is everything.
We're investigating murder.
Once that line is breached without a lead,
Who pulled the trigger?
the odds of solving a case are cut in half.
911, what is your emergency? I just saw someone get stabbed.
Try to make some sense out of this. The victim's handgun.
I've been awake 36 hours, and it's absolutely worth it to bring this case to a close.
Weekdays at 10.
Patrick Swayze.
Dirty Dancing.
I'm going to set the opening bid. Party. Confetti.
Store Bullseye.
Target. This is a show where every word counts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wild Dogs.
Weeknights at 11 on MyRDC 28.
She got the scholarships you saved. He got into his dream college. But you need some help bridging the gap between savings and scholarships and the cost of tuition. Apply for an affordable NC Assist loan and make their dreams of going to college a reality.
It's coming. The state's top rival teams will clash 3 days in May. Who will become champions? The North Carolina High School Athletic Association Football Championships kick off Thursday, May 6th through the 8th. Don't miss the excitement. Broadcast presented by West Shore Home. Halftime brought to you by Hardee's.
Hey, Gunner, guess what? I just got a foster family.
Oh, that's great, Lily. How'd they find you?
Through Cause for Paws. Apparently it was pretty easy.
Huh. I wonder why I never get picked.
Aw, someone will pick you soon.
No, they won't.
Maybe you just need some pizzazz. Something that makes you pop.
Like this?
Back at the Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report. State Capitol Day. Quite a day in the state capitol as the Murphy Bulldogs lead it by 2 scores. Easy to see why this team has the experience of being here before, Eric, with the way they performed in the first half.
Yeah, you can't say enough about the Murphy Bulldogs and, just the game plan that they had coming into it, as well as Northside. They had a game plan coming and trying to execute it, but Murphy's just really taking it to them, being physical in the trenches there.
Northside has fought and scrapped, worked hard all season long. They're going to see a push from Northside at some point, but these highlights are going to be heavily Murphy. You look at the way this Murphy Bulldogs team has performed on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, defensively they're playing well. They have taken away what Northside does well, which is a run game. They only have about 90 yards rushing, and Murphy normally runs the ball really well, but they have over 200 yards passing. So Northside tried to take away the run by loading up the box, and Murphy, as Coach Gentry just said, they just started going over top.
Just a single incomplete pass in the first half, and these completions certainly a thing of beauty. And staying in there, taking the lick before he makes the connection that go round to Smith.
Yeah, he's a tough kid, and you see just the game plan that they've come in with. They're executing it to perfection.
Amazing first half for Rumfeld, the quarterback, and here's how the numbers shake out overall. The 207 yards passing you have to circle. You talked a great deal about something as well, time of possession, which was key in the first quarter especially.
Yeah, time of possession. Murphy dominated the time of possession in the first quarter, but it kind of balanced out, through the second half or through first half, and I think actually Northside has greater time of possession.
And that's one thing you think about as being a step in the right direction for Northside. Now it's just a matter of putting some points on the board in the second half. We'll talk about adjustments, a whole lot more. The Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime show continues after the break.
When it comes to North Carolina Medicaid, you now have different paths to care. NC Medicaid Managed Care lets you choose a health plan with the providers and services best for you. Enroll by May 14th. Just go to ncmedicaidplans.gov or call 833-870-5500. With NC Medicaid Managed Care, all paths lead to better health.
For homicide detectives, the first 48 hours is everything.
We're investigating murder.
Once that line is breached without a lead,
Who pulled the trigger?
the odds of solving a case are cut in half.
911, what is your emergency? I just saw someone get stabbed.
Try to make some sense out of this. The victim's handgun.
I've been awake 36 hours, and it's absolutely worth it to bring this case to a close.
Weekdays at 10. Whatever the crime.
You never come to work thinking you're going to see something like that.
Whatever the motive.
If he couldn't have her, no one was going to have her.
Whatever it takes, answers to mysteries will be revealed.
Question is, who's going to benefit by these two deaths?
I remember falling to the floor. He was finally caught.
On Dateline.
Weekdays at 11 on MyRDC 28.
It's coming. The state's top rival teams will clash 3 days in May. Who will become champions? The North Carolina High School Athletic Association Football Championships kick off Thursday, May 6th through the 8th. Don't miss the excitement. Broadcast presented by West Shore Home. Halftime brought to you by Hardee's.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There's something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.
Well, time to put a wrap on the Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report. That's because the final ticks of the half are working off the game clock. And Coach Keith Boyd, Coach David Gentry leading their teams back out onto the field. Black and gray trying to get something going here in the third quarter, no doubt. And Coach Gentry and his crew trying to build upon what was a successful first half through the skies, no less. And we're waiting the thoughts of Coach Boyd. It's going to be interesting to see what he has to say about adjustments that were discussed at the break when he visits with Maryland here in just a moment to get our halftime coverage wrapped in the third quarter. underway here in the next several moments. And Eric, as they get ready to set things up for that interview, your thoughts on adjustments for the crew out of Northside?
Yeah, they're going to have to establish the run game, get something going on offense. We saw that they had -6 yards passing, 91 yards, total offense. So they're going to have to make those adjustments, I think, and dominate the line of scrimmage.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach's perspective is. We have it now. Coach Keith Boyd is standing by with Maryland.
Offensively, what do you want to see from your team to get across the goal line here in the second half?
Well, and especially in the first quarter, we killed ourselves that first drive with penalties. I don't think we need to change anything. I just think we need to quit kicking ourselves in the butt. You know, I mean, we're playing hard. We just got to sustain those blocks a little longer and don't let the penalty get us behind the chains.
Now, offensively, they've been all through the air with their success. What will your defense do to slow that down in the second half?
Well, we made a few adjustments. We came out and tried to play a lot of man, and we just we got beat. We blew some assignments, but we felt like we had to do that to counteract their strength up front. So we made a few zone adjustments. We'll see what happens.
All right, thanks so much for your time. Jason, back to you.
One of the great gentlemen in the state of North Carolina. We appreciate Coach Keith Boyd stopping by, and he'll try and get the G-men involved, so many of those, Gorham and beyond, to see if they can find a spark as we get set for the Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue kickoff of the second half. And, Eric, both coaches, one word comes to mind when you listen to them: simplicity. Simplicity from them both as this comes up the near side to return up across the 40 to the 43. In fact, Coach Gentry showing a simple approach to everything. I asked him, what has been the difference last year to this year, spring season? How do you kind of put it all in perspective? He said, well, usually we go from hot to cold, and this time we went from cold to hot. I said, that just about sums it up.
I love it. Yeah, it doesn't get any simpler than that. When we were talking, during halftime, JP, I told you I heard a quote. It says, if you can't explain something simple, you don't know it well enough.
Well, this a window into just how basic, how simple these two coaches have made it as they prepare for the second half of action. And a bigger lick than we've seen perhaps all day taken, and somehow standing in there and still connecting with Peyton McCracken is Kellen Rumfeld, who's putting together a monster state championship day. Watch him stay put, take the hard lick, and still deliver the football.
Yeah, once again, JP, you see the defensive, the second level, the linebackers, and then you see the DBs behind them. They're having to respect that play action, and so it buys them just enough to get behind the defense.
Fifth catch for McCracken. He's now up over 100 yards, 113 receiving. They're averaging 23 yards, 22.6 to be specific, each time they go to him.
Snap, illegal procedure, offense, still first down.
And for Rumfeld, the young man under the tutelage of the legendary coach, 9 of 10 through the skies, 233 yards and a touchdown, and his QB rating, 318.7. That'll get the job done.
That's through the roof. Sounds like another Phillip Rivers played here. He had a pretty high QBR, and Russell Wilson, he's in that realm.
Well, in terms of state championship glory, you may be adding the name Rumfeld to that before all is said and done. A lot of football left in this one, and we talked about it. You know you're going to get a push from Northside at some point. One of the things you love about Coach Keith Boyd, he talked about how the hard work in the weight room, the hard work in the preseason, the hard work to do all the things that these student athletes have been asked to do, Eric, unlike any other group before. You're asking them to do things that are counterintuitive to preparing, counterintuitive to contact sports, counterintuitive to just being able to show up and come together, become a cohesive unit as a team. He said, but all their hard work, I've told them over and over again all season, hard work will pay off. We'll see at what point it does that in the second half for Northside. Right now, they're trying to shut down this latest Murphy drive. Not going to happen right here, it would seem, but a great lick that at least puts it on pause for now. It appeared caught by Cole Laney. We talked so much about Ty Laney's touchdown earlier. Here's his brother reeling one in, but a timely arrival making all the difference as this is pushed away and just enough contact to shake it loose. Outstanding coverage from Harris.
Yeah, that was a great play. You know, he had gotten beat, but he didn't give up on the play. And as soon as he caught it, he made contact with him to disrupt the play just enough to dislodge the ball.
They can pause the drive right here, perhaps. 3rd down and 13. As Northside attempts to try and stall the Murphy momentum. Timeout going to be taken by the Bulldogs. We'll take it also. Underway in the second half. Murphy by a couple of scores in the 1A state title game presented by West Shore Home.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance was rated as the #1 auto insurer and the only A+ rated company in the nation per Crash Network's 2020 Insurer Report Card. When you have a claim, be sure to have A+ auto insurance from Farm Bureau. Helping you is what we do best.
My RDC Spotlight on Judge Mathis with My Story.
One of the things I tell folks who are coming out of destructive lifestyles is that they're going to continue to encounter obstacles. I started at McDonald's. I worked full-time and went to school at night. I graduated from law school and passed the bar exam. A few years later, I ran for judge. Success might not come overnight, but it will come.
One of the many people on My RDC giving us their My Story.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance was rated as the #1 auto insurer and the only A+ rated company in the nation per Crash Network's 2020 Insurer Report Card. When you have a claim, be sure to have A+ auto insurance from Farm Bureau. Helping you is what we do best.
Well, the fate of this drive still up in the air, and it's also still up in the air which drive will be our Legacy Federal Credit Union drive of the game. But we will select at the end of tonight's contest the Legacy Federal Credit Union drive of the game. Be your best you at Legacy Federal Credit Union. Timeout taken by Murphy. Out of the timeout, they face 3rd and 13. The line to make the 21-yard line. Snap taken by Rumfeld. He'll run it this time inside the 30 to the 28. Still a long way to go. They get about, maybe half of it, close to half of it. 4th down and about 7 or 8 coming in the early stages of the 3rd quarter. Big play coming up right here, Eric.
Yeah, and Coach Gentry, I'm sure he's not panicking at all. He's going to run a play here, and because his defense is playing so well, and he's into Northside territory. Yeah, he's going to call a play, and I'm sure he's thinking, yeah, we're going to get this, but if not, our defense is playing well enough that we'll get the ball back.
4th down, 6. Again, just across the 21-yard line. That's what the Bulldogs are searching for. Rumfeld rolls, and it's in and out of the hands of his intended target, incomplete. Tried another connection with McCracken. There have been so many of them today. Boy, are they glad to have that young man in the starting lineup, and doesn't quite reel this one in. And a turnover on downs as the Panthers of Northside-Pinetown take over. Second time that Murphy's had it down here in this portion of the field, Eric, and just haven't quite been able to complete the pass that would have extended the drive.
Yeah, it comes down to execution, JP. It was a good route, good timing, good blocking up front. Just didn't bring the ball in.
And that's worth pointing out because 9 of 12 is still the mark through the air to this point with that incompletion. With 10-11 to go, 3rd, here come the Panthers. And at front for Murphy, True, as the big bodies crawl on out of there. We haven't necessarily called his name as much as some of the others today, but Trenton Moss, the sophomore right there, and now you get another look at the headliner on this Murphy defense as Yusuf Mugerbil is filled up that front line today. But how about the surrounding cast? Yeah. Haven't called Trenton Moss's name a lot, have called Davis's name a lot. So many of the others there, that entire front line playing well.
Yeah, they're doing well. And number 24, Rathburn, made the play. That last play, he didn't make the tackle, but he definitely made the play by plugging that hole.
He was involved. Here comes the play Northside was looking for. Down the sideline and will not be caught. James Gorham finally breaks loose. Here come the G-Man.
There he is, Gorman, and we see that speed that we've been talking about all game, JP. That fella he got to that edge, he put that outside foot in the ground and headed north and south. And there it is, he's just getting there. He's the fastest man on the field. And look at the big fellas up front. clearing those holes for him.
A 73-yard touchdown run from James Gorham, and here are the G-men on the board as the Panthers have the touchdown they've been waiting for. Well, did we say it? They were going to keep clawing. They were going to keep fighting. At some point, they were going to break through. That'll be a deep breath moment for Coach Keith Boyd and his crew. Coach Keith Boyd handing it off to number 23, and there's touchdown number 24 on the season. And we got a ball game with James Gorham in the end zone.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
It's coming. The state's top rival teams will clash 3 days in May. Who will become champions? The North Carolina High School Athletic Association Football Championships kick off Thursday, May 6th through the 8th. Don't miss the excitement. Broadcast presented by West Shore Home. Halftime brought to you by Hardee's.
Well, we saw a strong candidate for the play of the game. Will that be the Hardee's Feed Your Happy play of the game? The run, the 73-yard run by Gorham just a moment ago. Drawn up nicely by Coach Keith Boyd. His team in it now. Just a one-possession contest. The extra point true. Has a kick straight in there by Tomani. Foot into it here for the sophomore. And the Murphy return up near the 40-yard line. Worth another look, Eric. They're going to love a second glance at this, a third glance at this, and however many times they want to watch it in the Coastal Plains region of North Carolina.
Yeah, just got a stretch play, and it's really just a stretch zone play and allowing the running back to pick his own his hole there. And once again, you see those guys getting out and just taking the defender where they want to go and allowing him to pick the hole. And that was a great run, great execution.
That makes it, as you might expect, easily a 100-yard-plus day for the leading rusher on the Northside-Pinetown side in the state championship game. He has 126, and now the defense feeding off that offense and answering the bell. The energy being provided, as you can see. Tyler Harris among those, and a little shake of the head from Rathburn as he's pushed back by Harris. Remember, Harris, the son of Coach Harris as well. Or excuse me, talking about Jacob Tyson, Coach Tyson. My bad there. Tyler Harris, number 88, who we had a little bit earlier in the game, the senior stepping up once more. Apologies for getting that crossed up on that glance up at the roster, but we've seen this young man make great plays tonight. And he makes another here. And this is tossed out near side, and that's going to be caught for Murphy by Cole Laney to slow things down a bit. That brothers connection with Laney and Ty Laney. Some energy beginning to develop. You can tell the way this crowd and this sideline is feeding off of what Northside has put together all of a sudden, Marilyn.
Jason, Keith Boyd told me on the walk over to the camera before our conversation that the biggest thing he needed to see from his team was them playing harder in the second half. He said, I'll tell you all the details about the scheme, but our problem is we're just not playing as hard as we need to in the second quarter, so expect that to change. Already it has.
No doubt about it. Spin move from Ray Rathburn for just a couple of yards, as that's how Murphy utilizes the first down play. The Riddle and Brantley first down selection. Of course, Riddle and Brantley, as we reminded you in the first half, injured in an accident called Riddle and Brantley when justice counts. And now the second down play coming after just a couple of yards gained there.
Yeah, middle linebacker so very important. Mitch Godley there making that play, wrapping up Rathburn just for a short gain. But yeah, middle linebacker so key.
I'll tell you what, the 40 time's not going to be bad on Keith Boyd either. Coach Boyd had to get down the sideline and secure the timeout. He ran probably 25 yards to get the attention of the official. And ahead of the second down play for Murphy, must have seen something he didn't like on that occasion. As we remind you, one of our many features that will come up toward the end of today's game, our West Shore Home Player of the Game. West Shore Home, the sponsors of today's broadcast, which we're certainly happy to have you with us throughout today in the first game as well as the 5 o'clock game, reminding you that they can convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower. They can do it in just one day. Check them out at West Shore Home. Well, the energy there suddenly having taken itself to the other side of the field. Now, that's a rarity so far in these state championship games. And in some of those quirks you get from time to time, the first 2 state championships we've called here in Raleigh, you had to be sitting on the home side to win it. And it's been the home side leading it throughout here in the third today. But old Mo has worked his way around to the other side in the last several moments in this one-score game.
Yeah, you can see the Super Panther over there getting excited. He's got his cape on and trying to get the crowd into it. And can't say enough about the cheerleaders that are here. Also, they're student athletes, and they put the work in as well, JP.
That is another outstanding play by Tyler Harris. We call his name again. Tyler Harris having a big day in some of the key moments, stepping up all over the field to make the stop. How many 88s are there out there right now? Got to be more than one, right?
Indeed. Good playing by the young man there, the senior linebacker. Once again, it's just being patient and just keeping your shoulder square and buying time.
Third down. And they need the 37-yard line. The Murphy Bulldogs hit from behind. The ball is loose. It looked initially as if it was going to be recovered by Northside, and they may have covered it up in the end. Celebrating as if that's the case. And there's the indication. It will be Northside football in Murphy territory, looking to pull even on this drive.
And you called it, JP. Old Mo is starting to shift. You see Super Panther over there, dancing and doing the jig. But we see here,
You talked about how throughout the day, the continued licks, the continued pressure were eventually going to wear on Rumpfelt. You see him shaken up for the first time as he's hit a couple of times and then spun around. First man on the scene there, making some tremendous impact defensively. And you can tell, Eric, that it is now starting to become a factor, and you wonder how much it's going to plant that thought in the back of the brain of the quarterback moving forward, because that relentless pressure has continued.
Yeah, and every time you drop back to pass, from a defensive perspective, you want that quarterback thinking, where is he? Where is he? Is he coming? Is he coming? Because they get a little antsy and they may get the ball out a little sooner than they want. And so, yeah, from a defensive perspective, you want those hits do continue to add up. And we see here that Northside is getting that little swagger. They're getting that swing right now. So Murphy's got to have a big stop here on defense in order to stop that.
Keith Boyd looks on, the coach of the Northside-Pinetown Panthers. What will Kiefer Boyd do? This time it's going to be a handoff, and sweeping this direction is Modlin. Runs into all kind of Murphy Bulldogs at around the 42-yard line. So here comes an important 3rd down and 6 with momentum squarely on that far side at the moment. Can Kiefer Boyd, as he runs the call back in. Oh, what a pleasure it must be for Coach Keith Boyd. Look out there and see Kiefer Boyd engineering this offense and setting up in the state championship game on the surface at Carter Finley Stadium. And just a pride moment of a 3rd down, much needed. And here is about a 3-4 yard rush. So 4th down, a couple needed at the 38-yard line. Wouldn't you like to be in the mind of the brain trust on that north side sideline at the moment? And they got a big decision to make here on 4th down as far as what play to go to when you know that group on the far side making some noise in behind them right now. A little bit of motion from Gorham. And it is snuffed out by the Murphy D. A turnover on downs as Murphy, Ray Rathburn and company, one of those two-way iron men, able to secure the football right back.
Huge. That was a huge play. Linebacker coming, shooting the gap, and being able to diagnose. He sees it every day. He sees it so often in practice, being able to diagnose that play. You know, and a few plays ago on the last drive, JP, he took on a pulling guard and a center and clogged the hole and made the running back bounce to where the big fella, number 73, the Florida commit, Muggerbill, can make that tackle. And so he does the dirty work. Those inside guys, they do the dirty work. And you see right there, he was rewarded.
Nothing off the turnover for Northside. And this Murphy squad going for its offensive impact. It's tough, physical D. It's that tough, physical D that will keep it at a one-score advantage for the Bulldogs. And running into the tough, physical D of Northside on the other side after just a yard gained is Rathburn this time. And we got one of the linemen for Murphy down at around the 43. Looks to be, is that 68 for Murphy? Perhaps Mason Thrasher, a sophomore lineman that is down there.
I think so. It's hard to tell from this side, JP, but it looks
appears
like
to be Thrasher, just looking at him, and we'll see the training staff come on and tend to this young man as everything stops at the 4:18 mark, third quarter. So much good work done by the gentlemen on both sides of the line on both of these teams today. And you certainly hope there will be no lingering effects from this moment.
Yeah. Worked so hard to get to this point, you know, and it takes a village, you know, with the trainers, the administration, the teachers, moms and dads that prepare meals, and you know, they do a great job. And you always like to see when these young men get up.
We're being told you can take a look here and see him get rolled onto a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Underneath, yep.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're an offensive lineman, when you're engaged. You know, the defender in front of you is taking up, you know, all of your attention, and then, you know, you don't know what's going on behind you. Just unfortunate. Hope that young man is okay.
Here comes Mason Thrasher, who's done such good work up on that line today, being helped off. Ahead of the second down play, 2nd and 9. As play continues, 4:18 to go in the third. One-score game. The 1A championship tilt. Everything you had expected it to be thus far. Not as much room as it may have initially appeared for Juan Allen. Juan Allen, you remember, when you talk about Ironman football and so much of what's been done today, had the interception early in this contest on the Murphy side of things, and here he gets involved offensively, but it all shakes out to a 3rd and 6.
Yep, run a little jet sweep, but once again you see Tyler Harris shedding that blocker, and actually the Murphy blocker was the one who actually made the tackle, but he did a good job fending him off.
Rumfeld far side, going to be pursued. Gets it into the hands of his receiver in time, but it's only good for about 3 on the connection to Allen. And down at around the 39-yard line, one of the key contributors in this game. And
that's the quarterback.
Yeah, he's kicking his legs a little bit, is Rumfeld. And he's grabbing that right shoulder, Eric, and this looks to be fairly serious. You would hope it's just a stinger, but
yeah,
you're going to see his shoulder planted here on the latest hit. They have applied the pressure to the outstanding young Murphy quarterback throughout the day today.
Yeah.
And you saw how that ended for him as the training staff is now on. And this is certainly a catch your breath moment for the Bulldogs faithful on the near side. And he's coming on off, but you can see there is some more pain being dealt with by Kellen Rumfeld right now.
Yeah, it's just a cumulative effect of all those hits. You know, even on the give reads, you know, he's getting hit. And just like he came down on the shoulder, collarbone kind of awkward there, but he's having an outstanding game It's unfortunate to see that happen.
12 of 15 through the air for 254 yards and a touchdown for Rumpfeld to this point. And you remember the first 8 passes he threw completed to perfection. And now Murphy on 4th down with the quarterback obviously coming near side, opting to kick it even if they're right at midfield. And the north side return, weaving through a seam up to the 23. And that's going to be about all that is there for Tyler Modlin, the senior. Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Nothing off the turnover for the crew out of Pinetown. But here they are with the football back again, late third. And again, you say late third, a whole bunch of football left, what you're used to watching. These are two teams that historically they run the football more than anything else. Yeah. So you don't know how many fourth quarter possessions there are going to be. You certainly expect you're going to see the football in your hands a couple of more times, but you're looking at, what, 3-4 more chances maybe that you touch the football along the way?
They can chew up the clock.
They become very critical, these opportunities. And here's the latest for Northside. And before we have the opening snap of this drive, timeout being called for. Northside down to 1 timeout now remaining in the half. They've used a couple here in the third quarter. Remember, we were talking about Coach Boyd running 15, 20 yards to get the timeout earlier. Here's the second. Murphy still with the 2 timeouts remaining up there on the board as we weave through the final stages of the third quarter. Boy, this game settling down into perhaps a classic now, Eric. 1 score between these two, and it's Northside's turn to set the tone.
Yeah, and something that we hadn't talked about a whole lot. You know, the quarterback, he's out. I mean, he's the orchestrator of that offense. You know, I'm sure, you know, the backup is going to be able to come in and do, you know, and manage the game well, but that's huge. You know, for Murphy right now. So we hope that the young man is okay. But we see the momentum shift, you know, to Northside, and they have to put together a run here. They have to. I think, you know, it's just under 3 minutes ago, they need to get a score right here, just mentally, psychologically, to say, all right, we're going into the fourth quarter. It's 0-0. We have a chance for this.
Well, the series going to begin. Gorman, like he had to gather that up.
Yeah.
Loaf of bread kind of came loose there for a moment, but he's able to secure it and turn it into about an 8-yard gain. Let's see, 7 or 8, depending upon where they spot this. 2nd and 2 coming.
Yeah, and you get that flow like the jet sweep look. It seems,
there it is.
He kind of had his head, you know, he was looking downfield and didn't realize, you know, right, I don't know, you know, you do things so.
Be still my heart as he goes back to work for the 2nd down play here.
He may have been having, you know, thoughts of grandeur again when he, you know, he had that last 70-yard run. But, you know, it seems they keep running that little jet sweep action. You know, look for maybe a wrinkle off of that, JP. We saw that in last night's game.
2:10 and ticking downward, third quarter. The good news is there's a whole lot more of this football left. But first, a flag down. Here's the call.
Prior to the snap, delay game, offense.
Now you saw it took just a little bit too much time for Northside to get up to the line. And now they'll be just behind the sticks for the 2nd down play. Well, a reminder, you'll want to hang around Carter Finley Stadium, the site of 2 state championship contests today. We'll have the Rams and the Cougars coming up. Vance trying to make it 2 straight championships in the 4AA state title game at 5 p.m. right here in Raleigh. Right now, though, 1A title on the line, and this is a deep shot that is just out of the reach of the intended target at the 40-yard line. On the coverage, among others there for Murphy, was Juan Allen, who had the big pick earlier in the game for the Bulldogs. And the intended target, Jules Moore, a senior, involved as both a linebacker and a running back on this squad. He's been a key contributor today in terms of his route running and ability. And there's another glance at Kiefer Boyd, the junior, with 2 minutes even on the third quarter game clock. Bringing him up to the scrimmage line. on a 3rd down and 7. And as they work their way up to the line of scrimmage, the final timeout is going to be burned here in the closing stages of the 3rd quarter for Northside. How about that?
That could we need to keep our eye on that, JP. That could prove to be pivotal because they now no longer can stop the clock. And you're still in the 3rd quarter. Yeah, ideally you like to save all of your timeouts, for that 4th quarter, especially if you're in a position where you're playing from behind and you need to stop the clock. They don't have the ability to do that now, either to get out of bounds or an incomplete pass would, stop the clock.
And there must have been some impending disaster there in the minds of the coaching staff on the other side to bring it to a halt ahead of a 3rd down play deep in your own territory with a couple of minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. So do tuck that away in the back of your mind. No timeouts remain for Northside as they trail Murphy by a touchdown. And 3rd down is coming at the 2-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. So set up just on that ACC logo, far hash. A little bit of movement. Play will be run this direction and just a little too tall on the pass as the official going to end up helping Boyd up after this toss, and the punting unit now comes on with 1:55 to play. Murphy to get the football back should have very good field position. The return man for Murphy is standing right on the right ear of the NC State Wolfpack logo.
I tell you something, JP, it's interesting, that he's burned those timeouts on offense because, you come into the game, you make adjustments, and, maybe some late adjustments in the season or game, and it gets a little confusing.
That was a little touch and go.
An adventure.
Yeah, Smith, who had the touchdown reception earlier in the game, had just a little bit of trouble on the catch of that punt. You talked about those guys who handle the punt return duties being some of your heroes. One of the toughest jobs you'll ever see.
Yeah, you have 11 guys breathing down your neck, and you're not even looking at them. Your head's up, and you're looking at the ball, and so you have to trust that your return guys are holding them off just long enough for you to catch it and get your head down the field. Hopefully you get a couple of yards on the return.
Family connections at quarterback today, anybody? Yeah, we've had them, and now here is Cole Laney. We talked about he and Ty Laney, the brothers. It's going to be Cole Laney taking over the quarterback duties for Murphy. He'll hand this off, and that's going to be a very positive gain for Ray Rathburn. You bring a new quarterback into the game after things have been engineered so effectively by Kellen Rumfeld. No surprise they turn and hand the football off. Let Rathburn try to settle things down a bit.
Settle down, give your backup quarterback some confidence, and just kind of open the playbook very slowly, because, especially in small ball, 1A ball, you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of reps with the backup there, but I can be rest assured this young man is prepared to come into the game because that's how Coach Gentry does. He'll prepare you and get you ready. As all the coaches at this level, man, they're going to get the team ready to play.
The sophomore QB hands off right side this time. You know who else knows that, though? This Pinetown group. Northside able to focus in on the rush, and they shut it down. 3rd down coming.
So now they can tee up a little bit, JP, because timing's going to be off. Just the rhythm of the offense is going to be off when you have the backup coming in there. And so now with that new defense that they put in and they load the box with 9, guess what? They're now going to send the house because they know that this young man is going to be a little rattled.
3rd down 5. Inside the final half minute of the 3rd quarter, Murphy took the lead at the 3:16 mark of the 1st quarter. They have led since, and this will keep the drive rolling. Inside the 45, down near the 40-yard line on the carry of Juan Allen, and that is a Riddle and Brantley 1st down.
Yeah, here we go. Once again, handing it off. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers and those guys up front making those blocks, receivers coming around the end blocking. Man, fantastic job. And once again, JP, it comes down to execution. How well do you execute your offense in this environment?
5 of 9 on 3rd down, the Murphy Bulldogs today. And that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. So one more period of action in this spring 2021 football season. to determine the 1A state champion. It's Murphy in command, but Northside reminding you it's not over yet.
Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
You're watching My RDC Kids.
The biggest comedy stars.
Marijuana may help you what?
Eat all the cupcakes.
Wall-to-wall laughs.
In order to prevent sexual harassment claims, employers may consider banning
John Lovitz.
It's the comedy game show.
You can major in wine.
I'm homeschooled.
Funny you should ask.
Weeknights at 10 and 10:30 on My RDC 28.
Next time on Law & Order Special Victims Unit, an Olympic gymnast murdered. Was it the coach?
I'm not paid to teach weakness.
The teammate?
You want me to be sorry she's dead?
Or the rich sponsor?
You were sleeping with her.
It's a Law & Order twist that's pure gold.
Law & Order SVU.
Monday at 8 on My RDC.
Love is louder.
Love is louder.
Love is louder.
Love is louder than bullying.
Than hate. Depression. Loneliness. Stress.
Than anger.
Love is louder than
Fear.
anxiety, insecurity.
Love is louder than discrimination. Love is louder than abuse. Love is louder. Love is louder when you take action to help yourself or a friend. If you or someone you know is having a hard time, go to loveislouder.com to find out ways you can get help and feel better.
What flavors are you chasing? Hand-seasoned Angus beef? A1 sauce? Words written in cursive? Luxury you eat with your hands. Try the new Steakhouse Angus Thick Burger at Hardee's. Feed your happy.
Murphy, as it currently stands, a period away from a 10th state championship all-time for the Bulldogs, but without their field general, Kellen Rumfeld, who was 12 of 15 for 254 yards and a touchdown to this point, is banged up. And for more on his condition and what we expect the rest of the way, here's Marilyn.
The bad news and the devastating thing to watch for him is his emotions as he processes the injury that he has right now. His dad just told me that they believe he broke his scapula, the backside of his right shoulder. That throwing arm is iced up, and he's walking around trying to encourage his teammates. As for Laney, the quarterback on the field here, he's a sophomore lefty, and he was the JV quarterback as a freshman last year. So it's now up to him to hold on to this lead.
Well, it falls on the responsibility falls on the young man, Cole Laney. I mentioned we've seen such good work from his brother Ty, from he and other areas today, but they are now without a gentleman who put together one of the best starts you'll ever see in a state championship game. He completed just about every pass in that first half. Only had one incompletion, had a run of 8 consecutive to get things started, and a 2-point conversion on top of it. He was on target today, and certainly sad news to learn that he will not be back for Murphy. But here is a toss somehow completed. Boy, that hung up in the air long enough. What we used to say when we would throw something like that, it was obviously tipped, but a wounded duck in the air, just kind of flying and flopping toward the receiver, and somehow, even with he on the ground, he ends up finding his way to the football. Watch this again. It's touched, but what an adjustment to corral it and turn it into positive yardage. 3rd down, 7 coming here. Boy, how about the mindset, Eric, as he brings them up to the line for Cole Laney right now. The southpaw given the keys to the kingdom for the moment.
That's right. And I think with each play, JP, he's going to gain more and more confidence. You know, they're throwing a pass right there. They're going to open up the playbook because that's what's going to need to happen in order for this young man.
Rolls out this side. He's picked off, taken away by Sam Van Sant, and the senior safety, who also was one of the players that they looked at as a quarterback along the way, had great athletic ability in those spots. And I got a feeling that Dad will find a way to get that pick in there, too. In the Washington Daily News, another prime moment for Northside on the pick.
Yeah, and that was a tough play. He's rolling to his right and throwing back across his body to his left. And Northside making the big play, the huge turnover. We are in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to convert soon because it's not quite panic time, but they're going to have to get things going. But great, big turnover for Northside.
Here's the G-man again, going to take it far side as they go back to James Gorham, who had the 73-yard touchdown run a bit earlier. A great look at Sam Van Sant. He and his brother Gus, a big part, the long snapper, a big part of what's happening in the state championship environment for the crew that's from just outside of Washington, North Carolina, and the place designated as Pinetown. Population 155 there in Pinetown at last check, by the way. But that entire coastal plains region, that entire county off the banks of the Pamlico River, all in behind this crew out of the east, trying to tighten the football game a little further. And here is Tyler Modlin, who is going to carry it for a yard or so. Third down and long coming now. You got to give credit to Murphy every time that this East champion Panthers squad has been in position to put something together. The Murphy defense has stiffened, and it seems as if they are going to perhaps do so again here.
Yeah, stepping up big right now with third and long. All they need is one more stop. I'm pretty sure that they're going to punt if they don't gain any more yards here. But, yeah, the defense is going to have to come up and play big for them.
And, again, chances may be fewer than you think. No timeouts remaining for Northside in this fourth quarter. And that will be back to where the original line of scrimmage was, maybe 1 yard beyond it. But they needed the 38-yard line. So it is still 4th and 9 for Coach Boyd and his crew. And here comes the punting unit.
Yeah, that defense stiffened up there, JP. And Northside is going to have to get something going. Once again, I expect to see some wrinkles, as we get further on the game. They keep running that jet sweep action, maybe for a halfback pass or something off of that.
Kiefer Boyd, right foot into it. That's going to take a major Panthers bounce down inside the 40 of the Bulldogs. And it will be at the 37-yard line that Murphy will take over. One score still separating these two with 8.5 to play.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in North Carolina.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There's something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.
Well, for right around 4 decades, he's been roaming that sideline for the Murphy Bulldogs. He's led this crew to 9 of the 10 state championships that the pride of Western North Carolina, from a football standpoint, has secured. And his Bulldogs back here again, finding themselves 8.5 away from a title if they can salt away a 7-point lead. They go back to work inside their own territory. And another carry for Ty Laney. Laney's numbers continuing to climb on the Murphy side of things. Murphy rushing 13 carries, just 26 yards for Rathburn. Laney, 7 carries, just 20 yards, but that's because they're 59 rushing yards for Murphy, 255 passing yards for Murphy, for a total of 319. That may be one of the surprises of the day.
Who would have thought, JP? Who would have thought?
Some room made inside by that offensive line. This is going to be near the marker. That's close to another North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services first down. Just shy of it, though. And third down is coming. Guess who was there to make sure they have to play the third down play? Big Fred Taylor in the middle of it once again.
Yep, big linebacker, D lineman, he's doing well. Now, JB, keep in mind, this clock keeps running, and Northside cannot stop it because they don't have any timeouts. So they're going to have to come up with some big stops here as Murphy's driving down the field.
And you're really looking at this. It's more like there are 3 minutes or so left in the game when you think about that terminology. When you think about the scenario that's in effect, you have to come up with the stop. And this looks to be enough forward progress for the first down based upon where the officials have it spotted. You got to come up with the stop, and you know that may be the last opportunity that you get, the one that's coming for Northside, if they can get it back here. Because Murphy has designs with this, the latest North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services first downs, of going on a march of about 6 minutes and 55 seconds right now if they have their way.
And very easily they can do that. They can chew that clock up. Probably won't see another pass from the young man, but you never know. You know, you have to take what the defense gives you. As Coach Gentry was saying, they load the box up with 9. You have to throw it over top of them.
Sophomore quarterback Cole Laney for Murphy trying to finish what Kellen Rumfeld started. As the junior QB injured on a play right around the 40-yard line far side in the earlier stages of this game, will not return. And this Murphy crew on the strength of a touchdown with 3:16 remaining on a 2-yard rush from his brother Ty Laney in the first period. They tried the 2-point conversion after a penalty and missed. And then the Rumfeld 55-yard pass to Smith on the strength of those 2 scores. And the 2-point conversion on the pass to Ty Laney as well. Murphy still hanging on to that 14-7 advantage. That touchdown, by the way, coming with 5:52 to go in the second. So the only second half touchdown we've seen, the 73-yard rush from Gorham, but that's not enough to pull Northside even just yet. However, third down coming right here, right now.
Yeah, you have to, as long as Murphy can continue to convert on third and you know, I'm sure they're going to go for it on fourth down if they don't get it here, because the clock is not the friend of Northside. They have to keep the ball, control the football, control that clock, and keep it running.
As long as I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, as long as I'm making a difference in the community, as long as my impact is a positive one, I'm going to stay on that sideline. Coach David Gentry, the winningest football coach and the legendary leader of this squad, has his team on the doorstep, but still 5 solid minutes remaining.
She got the scholarships you saved. He got into his dream college. But you need some help bridging the gap between savings and scholarships and the cost of tuition. Apply for an affordable NC Assist loan and make their dreams of going to college a reality. She got the scholarships you saved. He got into his dream college. But you need some help bridging the gap between savings and scholarships and the cost of tuition. Apply for an affordable NC Assist loan and make their dreams of going to college a reality.
It's coming. The state's top rival teams will clash 3 days in May. Who will become champions? The North Carolina High School Athletic Association Football Championships kick off Thursday, May 6th through the 8th. Don't miss the excitement. Broadcast presented by West Shore Home. Halftime brought to you by Hardee's.
Murphy up to the line. Huge third down coming. As Northside needs the football back, down a score in the 1A state championship game presented by West Shore Home. Northside nearly jumped, and it looks like they did. Here's the call.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, remains third down.
Thought they were going to be able to get in there and out of there in terms of the neutral zone, but it ends up being a penalty. So now third down becomes third and short, 3rd and 6, now 3rd and 1.
Yep. I'm sure, you know, in the timeout, you know, Coach Gentry, once again, simplicity is key. Give them a hard count, try and get them jumped off sides, because 3rd and 1 is a lot better than 3rd and 6.
It's a 10-yard fight, and every inch counts. And on 3rd and 1, Murphy going to keep it on the ground up across the 40-yard line. And that's good enough for a North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services first down. Move the chains. Cole Laney, the sophomore quarterback, managing things well. We were talking about the legendary Coach Gentry real quickly. When you think of legendary figures, that area in western North Carolina and the nearby community of Warren, North Carolina, losing an absolute giant. And Jimmy Hoggs had done so much for that community and so many in that area. And they continue to celebrate his life as he went home earlier this year. And thoughts continue to be there. Prayers continue to be there with that entire group. We talked about so many that are smiling down, so many that have been played for along the way in a number of these different championships environments. And these are lifetime memories that are going to serve you until you take your last breath as a human being, if you can make them right here and right now. And they come in these moments with the clock ticking down toward 4 minutes in a state championship environment, Eric.
Yeah, imagine, the memories that Cole Laney is making right now. And the star quarterback gets hurt. He comes in, is able to manage the game. If they can hold on here, you can be rest assured 20 years from now, 30 years from now, he's going to be telling this story how he won the state championship.
And in Murphy, North Carolina, communities nearby like Warren and beyond, they are going to be celebrating if they can salt this away. But right now they're celebrating on the far side. Northside with the takeaway again. Here the Panthers will be with 3:42 left to play as it's shaping up toward a classic in the 1A state title game.
Never say never, JP. As we're here talking about managing the game and just being able to ride it out, a turnover comes right now. Once again, we don't have the advent of instant replay, but we see here Rathburn going down. It looks like the ball was still live, and yep, they did recover it. So Northside getting an opportunity to march down the field with 3 minutes and 42 seconds to go. And keep in mind, they have no timeouts. They cannot stop the clock.
So it'll start this march at the 33. A flag is down in the holding area back around the 27-yard line. And
looks like it may have been an illegal shift.
Okay, you saw motion before the play. Here's the call.
2-minute motion, offense.
Well, that's a great value of having a coach up here with eyes on it. And former Tar Heel nonetheless. I'm going to say this on behalf of Eric Gash and our entire crew. Boy, what a pleasure. Jason Patterson walking you through the end of this one on behalf of the entire group, bringing you all these great pictures and graphics and information. And we were talking about it during the break. What a blessing and a joy it is just to be sitting here and having the opportunity to witness a state championship game like this. And it comes down to this possession. Buckle up. You're along for the ride in the state title game. And here's a beautifully designed play. Caught and somehow able to hang on. It looked like Murphy was going to try to strip it out, take it away. But the Panthers, Tyler Maudlin, none of it as he reels it in for the connection.
Wow, you talk about fantastic concentration.
We do have a flag back at the 28, and it's a holding, and this will be negated. Boy, that was well drawn up, beautifully executed, but they'll march them backwards, will the officials. Take another look. Good snapshot of what these coaches have put together.
All the time in the world. Great concentration. That was fantastic concentration.
On the offense, 10 yards, replay first down.
All right, way behind the sticks now. Not the way you want to start a state championship tying drive. Or perhaps she decided to roll the dice a little bit. State championship winning drive where they to try to go for two. Could they find a way in the end zone? Not the way you want to start at 1st and 25, but they know the work in front of them, and this is a team having experienced the fruits of their hard work all season long. You know they have it in them. Can they piece it together? This Murphy defense trying to stop it, and they'll stack things up at the 21-yard line. Second down and forever still coming. The line to make is the 43-yard line on this side of the field, and the fans, well, the heart's starting to beat a little bit faster as that clock winds down under 2:40 left to play.
Yep, Northside cannot stop the clock, so they have to take advantage of every single second that they have. Get up and run the play, and if need be, clock it. But, yeah, they have they're second down and a mile to go, so they have to get some chunks, yardage chunks right now.
Brute force and physical nature of this crew out of Western North Carolina, and the ball game perhaps just out of the reach of Murphy's Kyle Willard, who was Johnny on the spot. And had he reeled that in, they would have erupted the crew out of Western North Carolina on the near side. And look at the impact moment as that was connected on by Ray Rathburn, who was in there to disrupt it.
Yeah, and once again, you talk about a dream scenario. One of the big fellas.
You got it.
Getting an interception and you talk about making memories. That would have been fantastic to see that. The only thing better if had he caught it and tried to rumble it in for a pick six.
Would have made it very tough to sleep tonight for that young man. Somebody's going to have that highlight moment before we're done. And here's Gorham, who's already had one. He had a 73-yard touchdown run earlier, but they force him out toward the boundary on the far side. And it's going to be 4th down forever. And Eric, with the clock ticking down, under 2 minutes now, no timeouts for Northside. Here's the ball game.
This is it right here. They have to convert or the game's over. All you're going to have to do is take a knee. So a big play. This may be play of the game right here for Northside.
Again, the 43-yard line needed for this Pinetown crew, the Panthers of Northside-Pinetown. Needing a bit of a miracle here just to keep it going. And it's going to be run around the corner. There's room. Hurdling a tackler near the 40, and that's not quite enough. As it with 1:28 to play, we'll go over to the Murphy Bulldogs, and you can see them on their feet down below. Those who've made the trip over from Western North Carolina, now 1 minute, 28 seconds away. If they can go into that victory formation and close things out here and handle the formalities, now 1:28 away from what would be a 10th all-time state championship and a 9th for the legendary head coach on that sideline for nearly 4 decades.
Yeah, one of the best. He's as good a person as he is a coach. Can't say enough about Coach Gentry. He's built a football culture out there. They eat, breathe football out up in Murphy, North Carolina, and rightfully so, maybe Titletown.
And for all the formations that he has drawn up over the years, it's a pretty safe assumption. This is his favorite. He has his crew in the victory formation as they will have an opportunity to celebrate the final 70 seconds or so rolling off the game clock. It's the Murphy Bulldogs having come here again. And if they can execute the kneel down just a couple of more times, having won their first championship since 2018 and made it a double-digit total for that community, known for its football impact, known for its love of this game. And they're going to have one more banner to hang and one more trophy to find a way to move some things around and locate in that case, which just continues to grow for the Bulldogs.
Yep, one more ring to go on those fingers. Congrats.
That's both hands now, by the way.
There it is. There it is. And I'm sure the talk will be, hey, let's go on and make it an even 10 for Coach Gentry. Like I said, he's a great coach, great person, and does a great job with those Bulldogs up there in Murphy.
It is going to be an even 10 for the Murphy community. The Murphy Bulldogs have made the trip over to Raleigh from Western North Carolina. And here in the state capitol on this day, they have secured a 10th state championship all-time, a 9th for legendary head coach David Gentry and the crew out of Smoky Mountain 1A. Atop the mountain as the 1A state champions in the only spring season, perhaps. I said to Coach Gentry, I said, you're going to tell some folks about what this spring season was like, separates it from all others. Did you ever think you would see this? He said, absolutely not. Will we see it again? Perhaps not. But whatever the case, it's his team winning so many fall championships over the years, now adding a spring football championship to the mix. Time for our West Shore home player of the game. So many big catches by Peyton McCracken. Boy, were they glad to have him back for this game, and he was a difference maker.
Yeah, great job with the young man. He is catching, he's running, he's playing. Did a great job. He was sure-handed, and once again, you have to execute, do the little things to win a championship.
5 catches, 113 yards, average 22 yards per catch. Did McCracken. He and Rumfelt outstanding, especially early in this game. And here is the legend, Coach David David Gentry standing by after his 9th and Murphy's 10th championship is secured. He's with Maryland.
We were just kind of, we were lucky to win with our second team quarterback, and but he came in and did a great job, I thought.
Well, there you have it. Coach David Gentry already giving me the rundown here. State championship number 9 for you. And you told me this week that if you could win one today, it would perhaps be the most meaningful of every win that you've had in your career because of everything. How does this one feel?
Oh, it feels great. It feels great. It really does. With all we've gone through, you know, and every team has gone through, with all the COVID and all the injuries we've had, and our kids have just never quit. And in the last in the semifinal game, you know, we were never picked to win, and I always thought we had a pretty good football team, and we do. But hats off to Northside. They're a great football team. I told them they probably played us as well as anybody we played all year long, and that's probably what you should get in a state championship game. Everybody said, well, you'll just go down there and run all over them. That's not true. They got some good football players, and they got well coached, and my hat's off to them.
Now, you pointed out your starting quarterback, Kellen Lundfield, hurt in the second half here. You see Cole step in, the sophomore.
Yeah. And the thing about it is we've not had a lot of reps with him because he's been playing wideout. So every time I wanted him to come over, the wideout coach said, no, he's got to come over because he's playing wideout. So his reps have gone down the second half of the year, and but he did a great job.
You could put a bow on it. What really do you feel? A 9th state championship and one without your starting quarterback, and despite COVID, what's it mean?
That's great. Just has a great feeling. It really does. I think his team is what it is, and I said it to a lot of people. I don't know. We got some real good players, but I think we have a lot better team.
There it is. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Jason, back to you.
Relish these moments. Cherish these days. Championships are precious. There's a 10th for Murphy, a 14-7 win over Northside-Pinetown.
Next time on Law & Order Special Victims Unit, an Olympic gymnast murdered. Was it the coach?
I'm not paid to teach weakness.
The teammate?
You want me to be sorry she's dead?
Or the rich sponsor?
You were sleeping with her.
It's a Law & Order twist that's pure gold.
Law & Order SVU.
Monday at 8 on My RDC.
Dear Mrs. Crandall, it's easy to get so busy we can forget there are others who need our help.
Let's work on your reading, okay?
You can see.
Vanessa, you're next.
At the seashore, you can learn about the tides, the seagulls, and the beach.
By taking the time to help my daughter read, you've become her hero and mine.
Make a difference. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
For homicide detectives, the first 48 hours is everything.
We're investigating murder.
Once that line is breached without a lead,
Who pulled the trigger?
the odds of solving a case are cut in half.
911, what is your emergency?
I just saw someone get shot.
Try to make some sense out of this. The victim's handgun. I've been awake 36 hours, and it's absolutely worth it to bring this case to a close.
Weekdays at 10. It's coming. The state's top rival teams will clash 3 days in May. Who will become champions? The North Carolina High School Athletic Association Football Championships kick off Thursday, May 6th through the 8th. Don't miss the excitement. Broadcast presented by West Shore Home. Halftime brought to you by Hardee's.
Hot Bench, weeknights at 7 on My RDC 28.
A 10th state championship for Murphy, a 9th for their legendary head coach, David Gentry. And we asked him what was different about this year. Well, one thing he said, we told you, you go from, instead of from hot to cold, you're going from cold to hot. That was the simple answer. But he also said the kids, they weren't at school. He said we had to find them. You had to look for them. You had to discover, where are they? How are we going to round them up? How are we going to practice? He found those kids. He found the right kids, and they found a championship here in the spring of 2021. Let's take a look back at some of our superlatives from this game. Our Hardee's play of the game is going to be the 73 yard rush by the G-Man. There he goes down the far sideline. James Gorham, his 24th touchdown of the season for solid number 23.
Yeah, good run by the young man. You see the heart and determination and the speed right there. They were trying to mount that comeback, but just quite didn't get it.
Well, so many key drives in this game, but we decided to go with a defensive performance because the defense so strong in key moments for his crew. Here's the Legacy Federal Credit Union drive of the game, a defensive stop. Be your best you, a Legacy Federal Credit Union, and they're the sponsors of this drive of the game. And there is the long toss for the touchdown play, as it ends up being such a connection that set up that 55-yard touchdown, which you just witnessed. And, boy, how good in the early stages was Kellen Rumfeld before they lost him to the injury, Eric?
Yeah, as a quarterback, I mean, that's your dream. You're connecting all over the field. You're rolling out. You're running. You're dropping dimes, as the young people say. He did a fantastic job. It's unfortunate that he did, get injured, but he'll be back. He's just a junior, and he has an opportunity to do it again.
You heard the challenge pregame. Bell answered. Rumfeld 12-15, 254 yards, a touchdown. Murphy 334 yards, 255 of them through the air, a 14-7 win. Thanks to all our sponsors. You see them on the screen: West Shore Home, Hardee's, American Military University, a Legacy Federal Credit Union, Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue, Riddle and Brantley, North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, Bluebell Ice Cream, and Ingalls Markets. Thanks to our outstanding crew, my partners Marilyn Payne and Eric Cash, Jason Patterson, for all our crew, saying thanks to you, the fans, and congratulations.